Together we navigate
new frontiers.
We are the NWP.
We heal with zeal.
Together we navigate
New frontiers.
We are the NWP.
We heal with zeal.
Together we navigate
New frontiers.
We are the NWP.
We heal with zeal.
Together we navigate
New frontiers.
We are the NWP.
We heal with zeal.
Together we navigate
New frontiers.
We are the NWP.
We heal with zeal.
Together we navigate
New frontiers.
We are the NWP.
We heal with zeal.
Together we navigate
New frontiers.
We are the NWP.
We heal with zeal.
Together we navigate
New frontiers.
We are the NWP.
We heal with zeal.
Together we navigate
New frontiers.
We are the NWP.
We heal with zeal.
Together we navigate
New frontiers.
We are the NWP.
We heal with zeal.
Together we navigate
New frontiers.
Ilpa madam का phone.
A very good afternoon to one and all, and wish you all happy, healthy, prosperous New Year. Myself, Dr. Shruti Karkekar, on behalf of IIP Navi Mumbai, welcomes you all to the most awaited annual conference of IIP Navi Mumbai F.L.I.R.T 2.0. I extend a warm welcome to the Honorable Chief Guest, the President, Dr. Jitendra Gawane Sir, the Secretary, Dr. Satish Shahane Sir, the entire team members, eminent speakers, and esteemed delegates. I'm honored to be part of this prestigious conference and thankful to all my teachers, senior colleagues for their good wishes and blessings. The annual conference FLIR 2.0, that's a focus on learning, ideation, and rational thinking, started with the aim of fun learning. Last year, we had this fun learning, but this year, we are flirting online. So let's begin. I invite my dear friend, who is a pure combination of brain with beauty, Dr. Kalyani Patra, to join the FLIR 2.0. Welcome, Kalyani.
Thank you, Shruti, for those flattering words. And I am really privileged to be part of this annual conference. Good afternoon, everyone. And I am profusely overjoyed to take the opportunity to introduce our chief guest for today's annual conference, IIP President 2021, Dr. Piyush Gupta, sir. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of Navi Mumbai IIP. Sir needs no introduction. He is a professor and HOD at UCMC MS Delhi. He is a renowned academician, teacher, researcher, author, and editor. Now, we will inaugurate FLIR 2 with virtual lighting of the lamp in auspicious presence of Dr. Piyush Gupta, sir. Now I request Dr. Gupta sir to say a few words, please.
Thanks, Kalyani ji. Thank you so much. Thanks, Shruti. And I'm really blessed to be here in the august presence of our past president and senior Vijay Evle sir, Dr. Pramod Jog sir. We have Dr. Upen Kinjwadekar here, Dr. Rajendra Vaidya, and then all the dignitaries from the Navi Mumbai branch, Dr. Jiten Gawane, Dr. Satish Ane, Dr. Mangi Sinha, and Dr. Amit Saxena. And all the, again, dignitaries and my friends on the screen and off the screen. So this is a new terminology I learned. First it was on the dais and off the dais. Then we learned on the screen and off the screen. And I learned another new terminology just quoted by Shruti, flirting online and flirting offline. So as she said, the last year we had a flirt offline and this year we are having a flirt online. So this is a wonderful name. I like this. And congratulations once again for making it happen during this even this troubled time. And it appears to be a fantastic conference. And I just reading through the table of content so far, the clash of clans. So I would definitely like to witness this clash between Vijay and Upen, and let's see which way the ball rolls. And it will be a fun and real pleasure to listen to Pramod sir. After such a long time, we have been missing his anecdotes and his acronyms and what all. He's a master of that, whom nobody can really match. So, just I not taking much of your time. I am very happy at being able to make it, because I was afraid that I would be on traveling on a highway while returning from Gir, but I made it back to Delhi last night due to some other many reasons. And so it is wonderful to be in your company and seeing all those great faces. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best for the very good conduct of this conference, and happy viewing. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. I'm sure everyone here are eagerly waiting to flirt online. But hold on. With immense pleasure and pride, let us achievement of Navi Mumbai IIP Navi Mumbai is the winner of 14 awards at the national level, including the Best Branch Award. This is possible because of our very own leader, who is encouraging, approachable, inspiring, trustworthy, focused, honest, and have a inclusive leadership qualities. Can you guess? Yes, you are right. So please welcome our very own president, Dr. Jitendra Gawane, sir. I request sir to give the presidential address.
Thank you, Shruti. At the outset, I welcome all the dignitaries on this dais. Actually, when I took as a president of Navi Mumbai in 2020 January, there was a tremendous pressure on me, because our branch has always laid the path for other branches, and was led by none other than Moralwar sir, Evle sir, Kinzavdekar sir, Ranpise sir. So it was kind of very apprehensive. I was to fit into their shoes and try to at least match with their achievements, but we cannot. We know that. Fortunately, I got the wonderful team of EBs who were enthusiastic, and everyone was having a different domain of their, like one is academician, one is expert in technical things, and one is a creative idea. So with the help of everyone, and each branch member gave me full support. Whenever I asked for any help from the branch member individually, also they extended their hand for me, whether it is conducting the road camps for the roadside children, or whether it is going to the school, or doing MR campaign, and so many things. And even during the COVID time, a lot of videos we made. So every expert from the particular field from our branch gave very good videos for our common parents to learn about it. So I was just a face of all this, and real success is because of the hardworking EB members as well as each branch member. So I congratulate them for winning 14 out of 14 awards at national level and getting the best branch award as well. Without wasting much time, I hand over my mic to Dr. Satish Shane sir for giving a short secretary's address. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can you are able to see? Palani?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, friends. And it was indeed a very happy journey in last 1 year with all past stalwarts as well as Dr. Jitendra sir and EB members who has made this possible. So this last 1 year journey, I'm just putting it in some slides. I welcome Dr. Piyush ji here as our chief guest and other dignitaries on the dais. Uh, we as a team has formed in last 1 year back as a president, Dr. Jitendra Gawane, sir, secretary myself, Dr. Satish Shane, treasurer, Dr. Mangesh Sinha, and joint secretary, Dr. Amit Saxena. And we have got immense support from our previous presidents, past president, office bearers, especially Dr. Mulwa sir, Dr. F.L.I.R.T sir, Dr. Upendra sir, and so many. And with this 1 year back, we had a very happy moments of installation from our none of like our I would say best guide, Dr. Shilpa Aroskar madam. And immediately with the in presence of Dr. Bakul Parekh sir, we got handover from the seniors for this new journey. And with this, we that time it was really a good time. We made the anthem song created with dynamic voices of Dr. Upendra sir. Still, we hear this in our YouTube channel. And Dr. Shilpa, Subhas, so many women, Dr. Cyril, everybody has contributed a lot. And hard work has that time was fun delivered because everybody could meet and we could deliver a good anthem song as well as we had a very good fun time that time. So immediately after the installation, we started our activities, especially the central IIP module, because that was the first priority on that list. And we did the vitamin D module as well as clinical meeting in presence of Dr. Ambedkar sir was telecasted all over India for the first time from the DIP platform in presence of Dr. Bakul Parekh. But as you know, we could smell something wrong in month when we joined as a president and secretary. But the real test had occurred in March when the lockdown has occurred and everything is stopped. Like your bus road where there's nothing we can see and we are alone, like at home and we could do nothing. We are thought कि अभी एक साल तो बर्बाद हो गया. But there is a vision with the visionary leaders like Dr. Jitendra Gawane who could see the possibility of doing something like Dr. Bakul Parekh sir has done, and he started with the help of none of our best technical savvy, I would say, what we generally call him as a technical wizard, Dr. Vikram Patra, and we have started our journey. Immediately, all that we had done so many activities, but before that, the first commitment what we made at the start was social commitment, and this was fulfilled with the footpath dispensary, which we conducted almost 3 times during that previous lockdown, before lockdown, and we have checked almost 150 patients in each visit and distributed all the medicines and things required for them, especially for the needy children. And our Dr. Prashant Vike has done a lot of camps in the rural area to support the malnourished children. Definitely, after the lockdown, Mangai, Shruti, Dr. Many of our EB members have started society to society campaigning about the awareness of the corona and how to handle at that level. Uh, Immediately after that, the central IIP model charity, this work has started, and we uh, conducted one charity work to the Mathari Hospital. Mathari Hospital is a trust hospital here in Navi Mumbai, who has done a lot of works for the poor people, and this was distributed in presence of Dr. Yevle sir and many of us are EB members. Dr. Yevle himself engaged in that time during COVID. Nobody was willing to come forward, but he started his journey with online teaching with the small children needy and publishes many articles in the paper about the awareness. Dr. Amardeep Barab, nobody was able to come out of this fear, but he has done a lot of good work in blood donation drive. He has collected almost 2,000 bags with that time, which was in real need. And Dr. Jitendra Gawane, myself, has given a lot of lectures that time for society awareness, especially for the non-medicals. These were the social commitment. Then webinar CME we started with the help of central IIP especially, because DIP that time was a prime light, and we could do some central IIP workshop with the help of DIP. And that was one workshop, like NTP, National Tuberculosis Elimination Program, was the first central IIP module which was conducted online by DIP platform, which was almost circulated all over India. We did 115, exact figure 115 webinars on CME on with the help of MGM department as well as other associations in Navi Mumbai. Our some jhalaks are there. We covering all aspects of pediatrics, especially from neonatology, from births to almost like adolescents, like I would say 18 up to 18 years. Many hemat, rheumat conferences we do it, and with the help of many stalwarts, even from the national as well as local stalwarts. And especially I would like to mention here about Dr. Upendra Kinjungar sir, who has done Haath Mein Haath Bachcho Ke Saath. This was a very good, famous IIP program during that time, evening time, which was educative source for children as well as parents. Central IIP model was a priority, and still we have done like four models still, and one of the first model done was NTP model, which was online published. Navi Mumbai is not only in academics that we have proven with the maximum awards we got in the sports, especially I would say Dr. Arvinder Singh, Dr. Amok Shahane, many of Dr. Mahendra Tople sir. He has done immense work in the sports and almost bagged almost all awards in the Maha IP. And our dynamic Upendra sir is not only in not in the sport but the cultural. He has done immense work, and he has conducted a very good program in Mahapi level. With the like what we got as a delivery जैसे आती है, तो after 9 months of our starting we form our own sister branch, that is adolescent branch, that is Umang Bari Udan from the Navi Mumbai IIP, and which is now recognized body at the central IIP level. That is pioneered by Dr. Vaswani madam, Dr. Chitra, Dr. Kalyani, Shruti, Shilpa madam. She is the one of the backbone of this uh, uh, branch, and they conducted nice programs. Almost it is one of the because of this program, adolescent even got very recognition at central IIP level, especially many videos, many educative material for the parents. They have published even the transgenders. They have made a lot of difference to them. Great contribution was made by our own stalwarts, even from the national faculties. Mumbai IIP has done a lot of activity on the celebration of the days, especially ORS Day, Breastfeeding Day, Anemia Day, and Rounds Day, World Round Day. One mention has to be there for Dr. Dhanya, who has made a very special difference to our branch at the international as well as national level by publishing many articles at on COVID as well as lockdown times, schooling, as well as many conducted many webinars at WHO level where it is widely recognized. Launch of Navi Mumbai IIP was a dream project by Dr. Jitendra Gawane with the help of Dr. Vikram, and it was launched in the presence of uh, President Dr. Bakul Parekh sir, Dr. Shekhar Dabadkar sir, and we have now 11055 subscriber on the Navi Mumbai YouTube channel, and this channel was seen like this on the YouTube. The achievement what Shruti has already mentioned about this is best. We got the best branch award at Maharashtra level in our category. Then first prize in ORS week. Then first prize in World Breastfeeding Week at Maharashtra level. And most important was recognition by the Central IIP, who has almost all categories we won. And first time we won the first branch or best branch award at our level. Now our look forward for the next year will be like social commitments what we are now planning, also helping out the like Navi Mumbai Mahanagar Palika or municipal council to carry out corona vaccination drive, so that we have already given them the commitment, all people will from our branch will help them out, and we are planning to have our own dedicated IAP office, because to conduct meetings or any proceedings, we do not have any special place to sit at, but we are looking ahead for that. And with this, I thank all my seniors, my colleagues, my friends, and everybody who has encouraged us to do these activities, and we are looking forward in support for future also.
Thank you, Satish sir, for such a lucid presentation. Before starting the CME, we would like to specially thank to the Signutra Nutrition for their academic grant. So now I invite Mr. Ashish Chopra, the zonal manager, to say few words.
Yes, so good afternoon, everyone. And I'm highly impressed to see so much work done by Navi Mumbai IAP. My heartiest congratulations to all of you. On behalf of Signutra, I, Ashish Chopra, extend my warmest welcome to all of you in this digital CME F.L.I.R.T 2.0 organized by Navi Mumbai IAP. And at the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Satish Sahane, Secretary, Navi Mumbai IAP, and also the President of Navi Mumbai IAP, Dr. Jitendra Gawane, for giving us the opportunity to be part of this virtual CME, the respected and august gathering of evangelists. And I was part of yesterday's meeting at GIR, and I was accompanying Dr. Piyush Gupta. I can say, and I want to congratulate Dr. Piyush also for being the president of Central IAP now. They say that the lion is back from GIR to Delhi. So now, before I begin, let me from core of my heart extend our thank you from Signutra for the sacrifices you make every day, and especially during this pandemic. Your dedication, commitment, and courage deserves our deepest gratitude and admiration. And your service to patient is saving countless lives and making thousands of differences as you are putting yourself in the path of this virus. So through this virtual CME, I would like to convey my heartfelt gratitude to you, your nurses, technicians, and everyone who is supporting the patient care and are rising to the occasion and caring for our most vulnerable populations. So thanks once again. Now, can I have this slide, please? Yeah. So at Signutra, we believe the right nutrition is like a signature. We are global experts in medical nutrition who understands that nutrition science is common across the world, but nutrition requirements are country specific. We have global presence and we are headquartered in Delaware, USA, and our formulations are based with collaboration with Fortune 500 companies. And our portfolio is custom made for India. We have certified signature nutrients, which meets ICMR guidelines, and we are using Indian habit of 2 scoops. We have innovative packaging, and which is taste tested by doctors, mothers, and children. Next slide, please. Yeah, now we are very proud that you are already aware of our brand called GrowViva. So I'm very proud to say that now GrowViva is clinically proven also. While I say so, an observation study in 763 children reveals improvement in height and weight with 100% compliance within 3 to 6 months by consuming GrowViva. This is purely an Indian study done by Indian doctors and for Indian children. And the assessment was done both at 3 and 6 months on the basis of height, weight, and BMI. And there has been a significant improvement in height, weight, and BMI, which was observed across all the age groups. And the study showed that 6-month intake of a nutritional supplement by children provided a significant improvement in anthropometric parameters. Next slide. Next slide, please. So a disrupted lifestyle, what I believe is the disrupted lifestyle during pandemic can have detrimental effects on physical health as well as mental health as well. So that is why it is important to ensure wholesome nutrition for a wholesome upbringing. So my request to all the present members over here is to pass on the benefits of GrowViva to as many kids as possible. And at last, I would once again like to thank you, the IAP Navi Mumbai, for giving us the opportunity to be a part of this event. Thank you very much, and over to you, Dr. Satish.
Yeah, Shruti. Hello. Yeah.
So, thank you for your kind words.
I thank Mr. Ashish Chopra for his appreciation and support and the academic grant. We will be moving to next part of our CME. We will be starting with the debate, which is the most awaited part we are having today in our CME. So friends, 2020 has been a very challenging year for everyone. But 2021 came with a hope called the COVID vaccine. And friends, this vaccine is definitely showing so many promises to the healthcare workers. So, but still there are more than 30% of healthcare professionals who are not convinced about going for the vaccine. Can you believe that? It is actually very surprising, Shruti. What do you think?
Yeah, really. There is a little bit apprehension and hesitation around, and I'm just wondering how to make them listen. Like, कैसे समझाएंगे हम उनको?
Okay, so now we are here to understand and to make them understand also. And this is why we have put on this debate. For this debate, we are glad to have the James of Navi Mumbai IIP, the experts in the field of vaccinology with us. And I am very pleasure to welcome Dr. Yevle sir, who has been an inspiration for all of us, has been in support to Navi Mumbai IIP since the beginning of the branch. With Moralwar sir, Dr. Yevle sir was very much instrumental in making Navi Mumbai branch. And also we all know his prowess in the field, academic field, as well as in the field of vaccinology. So I welcome Dr. Vijay Yevle sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, sir. And to play this Clash of Clans, I invite the evergreen, versatile personality, the singing sensation, our own Navi Mumbai SP Balasubramanyam, powerful orator, experienced senior pediatrician, Dr. Upendra Kindorkar, sir, who is the treasurer of CIP on the screen. So please welcome.
Also, friends, and for this to judge this clash of clans, we are very fortunate to have Dr. Rajendra Vaidya sir with us, who is also a vaccinology expert and ex-IIB president from Aurangabad. I welcome you, sir, and I ask you to roll the ball.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. Piyush sir and all dignitaries, Vijay, Upendra, Pramod, and special thanks to Jitendra and Navi Mumbai for giving me this opportunity and in fact honor to have moderate the sessions with the stalwarts, not of the Navi Mumbai, Upendra and Vijay, but of the national IIP stalwart, I can say celebrities of the IIP. We are going to have an excellent debate on the most burning topic we are now facing. As just now been told that 30% is a little apprehension or denial not to take the vaccine. And we are going to have a wonderful combination of science and apprehension, how to choose and how to come over that apprehension. I think, friends, any disasters, like we call pandemic as a disaster, the human psychology goes from the 4 phases. First is a denial. This is not our cup of tea. It is not there like that. Then once it's coming to the, then it said, okay, it's there. So accept the disaster is there, but it is not going to harm myself or my society. It is acceptance. Third comes to we start living with that disaster. We take ठीक है अब इसके साथ अपन will लेंगे. And at last we try to overcome that disaster. And I think we are now in the stage of overcoming that disaster pandemic. And for this, if you see last first few months, there was no mention of COVID vaccine in our any webinar first 2-3 months. They were all started with the signs, symptoms, transmission, then all prevention, masking, social distancing, hand sanitization, everything. Then comes like a pathophysiology, like a happy hypoxia and whatnot, ventilation, then goes to frequency, everything was changing. Then comes repurposed vaccines. Still, there was no mention of COVID vaccine. Repurposed like BCGMR, will they have some effect? And then somewhere in July, August, there were some phase studies by vaccine company, particularly Astra. They started doing this research since May when they got the total genome of SARS virus. They started working on that, and phase 1-2 studies started. And then everybody was very, he will get the vaccine and will be free to move everything, do like before. But once the studies are going on, there are few reports of some side effects which are bound to be there. Then everybody got scared. Are, should we go out for this vaccine or not? And use this change. First webinar, there was only one slide for the vaccine of the COVID. Then it gives 15-20 minutes for the COVID vaccine. And now the whole webinar is on the COVID vaccine. Like the dynamic change, we'll see. And we are having two most dynamic persons to guide us this. With all this short preamble, I will ask Dr. Vijay to go take over and give him some science, and then we'll ask Upendra. Over to Vijay.
Well, thank you so much, Rajendra, for those kind words. I once again welcome the Central IIP President, Dr. Piyush Gupta, on behalf of the IIP Navi Mumbai, and keeping in with the trend of IIP Navi Mumbai and the theme of the conference. Let me start flirting by appreciating the beauties who are on the screen and off the screen. And let me also confess that I'm available even offline for flirting. And you must have, Dr. Piyush ji, you must have, and Rajendra, you must have seen the IIP Navi Mumbai's commitment, and where we have committed that the IIP Navi Mumbai will be giving full support for corona vaccination. And I really wonder, I mean, on one hand, the branch has committed, and on the other hand, it has, erected a demon in the form of my dear friend Upendra to, talk against vaccine. Anyway, Shruti also said, कैसे समझाएं लोगों को. I mean, I can understand लोगों को कैसे समझाएं जिनको समझ नहीं है. But my problem is समझदार जैसे उपेंद्र को मैं कैसे समझाऊं. Let me see. I hope that I am able to do my job. So here I begin with my presentation. To be or not to be is the question of obviously recipient of the COVID vaccine. And if you look at the prefix which is there in my name, vaccine advocate, it says it all, that I am absolutely in support of the vaccine, not only COVID vaccine, but I am in general a strong advocate of vaccines and vaccination. And why do I say so? If you read Stanley Plotkin, the great vaccinologist, he says that the impact of vaccination on the health of the world's peoples is hard to exaggerate. With the exception of safe water, no other modality has had such a major effect on mortality reduction and population growth. And how true it is. We have been using vaccines for last donkey's years. We have eradicated smallpox. Polio is on its way out. We are eliminating measles, so on and so forth. So I think it's a futile debate on pediatricians forum, because as custodian of children's health, we have been advocating immunization very strongly. We have been very strong advocates. And adults look up to guidance from pediatricians. So it's the question of debating whether to vaccinate or not vaccinate, and especially against a deadly disease like corona, which is caused by SARS-CoV-2. I can understand anti-vaxxers questioning, but not my dear friend. And is he forgetting that he's a certified trainer of the program on vaccine hesitancy, which has been rolled out by IIP to come over the vaccine anti-vaxxers and the vaccine hesitancy? Now, I would begin with, in general, talking about the benefits of vaccine. There is definitely reduction in infectious disease morbidity and mortality. It helps to eradicate infectious disease. There is reduction in the secondary infections and complications which are very well known and associated with vaccine preventable diseases. It also prevents antimicrobial resistance. There are economic benefits which one tends to overlook. It is one of the most cost-saving public health tools. Productive gains, it's a two-way relationship between the healthy nation and that promotes preventive health and again gives us to more healthier nature. And it has a tremendous capacity to minimize the impact on family. It is no doubt that one of the best cost-effective preparedness for tackling an outbreak. Now, why are we talking about corona vaccine? Look at the magnitude of the disaster. This is what I downloaded last evening. And today, about an hour back, I had just time to look at the figures again, and this is what it shows. Look at the jump. 90 million people all over, so many deaths and so many recovered. But mind you, friends, all these recovered also have lot of morbidity. I'm sure you must have heard about long COVID syndrome and the pulmonary fibrosis and the heart issues in them. Now, many of us may question, and my friend may also put up a defense that the cases have started coming down and we have already attained the herd immunity. Do we need the vaccine? Well, friends, let me elaborate a little bit on herd immunity. Herd immunity is when sufficiently high proportion of the population are infected, transmission of the infectious agent is halted. And you have temporary protection of the unvaccinated, especially too young, too vulnerable, or too immunosuppressed to receive vaccines. However, this comes at the cost of human life. Some die, some recover with a lot of morbidity, and those who are not infected, they don't become immune. They continue to remain susceptible or vulnerable. And this kind of control of disease is impossible by looking at naturally induced herd immunity. And this is not possible in society in which we live, which is a sort of an open society. So let us try and understand what exactly is herd immunity. Herd immunity, this term comes from veterinarian practice, where a herd of cattle in the field, imagine there is a herd of cattle, these cattle have no contact with outside cattle, and a disease breaks out. And disease spreads, and at a tipping point, the transmission stops. The R naught comes down. Some sheep die, those who recover are immune, and the rest are not immune. But the disease dies out because it's an isolated field. There is no influx of new animals. Is it possible with human living who are living in an open society? Perhaps no. Why perhaps? It is not possible. So herd immunity, in fact, which is mistaken as immunity, which is built by natural infection, is absolutely herd immunity is possible only with vaccine. When you vaccinate sufficiently high number of people, transmission of disease is halted. It protects the unvaccinated and especially the young and vulnerable. So unless you understand this basic difference of herd immunity, which is attained with vaccine, and the herd immunity which accrues because of disease, one would not be clear. Now let us look at vaccine as public health tool. We have talked about the disease burden, and these are the attributes that one looks at when one tries to bring in preventive tool like vaccine: safety, efficacy, availability, and feasibility. Is the COVID vaccine safe and efficacious? Well, I'm sure my friends are pretty aware that these are the different platforms on which COVID vaccines have been developed. You have vector vaccine, on which the adenovirus carries the spike protein antigen, and the immune system would make antibodies to it. Your Serum Institute vaccine, which is the Oxford Astra vaccine branded as Covishield, belongs to this category. Then we also have Dr. Reddy's laboratory conducting phase 3 trial on the Sputnik Russian vaccine, which is also adenoviral vector vaccine. Then you have inactivated vaccine from Bharat Biotech International Limited, a very much Indian company, and this is on the time-tested platform of inactivated virus being used as antigen. And then you have mRNA vaccine, the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine. These may not come to India, but what has been granted emergency use authorization are these two vaccines, the Oxford and the Bharat Biotech. I would not go into the much details of the controversy which has erupted from emergency use authorization granted to Bharat Biotech. But at this point, let me tell you that the vaccine of Oxford made by Serum has shown overall 70% efficacy. But mind you, efficacy against severe disease and hospitalization is 100%. Bharat Biotech vaccine, 22,000 subjects have been enrolled, and there has been no safety signal in phase 1 and phase 2 trial. Inactivated vaccine is the phase 3 trial is underway. They have recruited almost 90% of the volunteers, and they also have been granted emergency use authorization. So with not very stringent requirement for cold storage and 2 to 8 degrees, something that we are used to, this is something which is feasible and within reach. I would not spend much time on the remaining vaccines which are likely to make market in near future, like the DNA-based Zydus vaccine and Sputnik vaccine, which is also adeno. At this point, let me elaborate a little bit on emergency use authorization, because my friend tomorrow, after my talk, may bring in this issue and talk about the concerns with emergency use authorization, which apparently has been done with haste. But let me tell you, friends, it is not so. Emergency use authorization does not mean regular approval of any vaccine or a medical product. It is a mechanism to facilitate the availability and use of medical consumables including vaccines during public health emergencies such as COVID-19. Globally, hundreds die every day due to COVID-19, and emergency or compensatory use of vaccine candidates that are ready for phase 2 trial are life-saving. So when you have data from phase 2 trial, immunogenicity data, you derive you look at it as surrogate efficacy marker, and then you offer this vaccine to public, into people who are outside the trial, with the understandable risk of rare serious adverse events, which perhaps may have escaped the phase 1 or phase 2 trial, and these vaccines may not, protect to the extent that is expected from this small trial. However, no harm is done. Now, let me refer to this paper, which is written very much by our own Dr. Dhanya and Dr. Jacob John, where they have said that we need to sail right through these uncharted ethical waters, carrying the vaccine as cargo. There are ethical implications in even a day's delay, as that might make the difference between the life and death and of numerous individuals vulnerable to severe COVID-19 disease and high risk of death. One must aim at causing benefit and at least no harm. It may not cause anybody, there should be no harm. And ethical imperative is to offer available experimental interventions that have shown promising results in the laboratory to people at high risk. When there is reasonable evidence of protection and absence of harm, delaying the use of vaccine for those in urgent need is a dilemma. But remember, so long as there is no harm, one must go ahead. Is there a precedent? Yes. There was a fear of influenza among soldiers. Directly from the lab animals, the vaccine was given to the soldiers, and it turned out to be very fruitful. The Arbo, which is practiced in Ebola outbreak, vaccine was tried directly in the field without the phase 3 trial results. So here is the proposition in emergency use authorization. The vaccines which are in phase 3 trial, they have cleared safety signal in phase 1 and 2, grant them emergency use authorization, and then vaccinate at-risk individuals. If the trial results show protection, those who are out of trial, they are already benefited. If trials show no protection, no harm is done, because the safety has been, confirmed or reaffirmed by phase 1 and phase 2 trial. And in case there is any adverse event which is not picked up in phase 1 or phase 2, and halt emergency use. So remember, protection delay will be protection denied. So that is why our old gentleman, eminent virologist, Dr. Jacob John, says that he has gone on public to say that I'm not worried about the efficacy. So long as the vaccine is safe, please put it to use. There are unfounded safety concerns, like chimpanzee adenovirus use will turn human beings into monkeys. Let me tell you, friends, that DNA and RNA integrating the host is absolutely unfounded. The only molecular material which has capability of integrating the host viral retroviruses. COVID-19 vaccine is safe, and government has come out with such beautiful pamphlets. They say when we are safe, the nation is safe, and so true it is. And there are good preparations on ensuring safety instruction practices. Training camps have been already held, and we have just had a fantastic experience with MR campaign, which was carried out nationwide. So there is no issue in carrying out an injectable vaccine drive across the like severe side effect. Now, next, look at the availability and feasibility. I mean, this is one such vaccine where I'm really proud to be an Indian. Indian vaccine companies have made us proud, and they also have made us Atmanirbhar. You have Serum Institute, Bharat Biotech, Reddy's Laboratories, Zydus. Serum Institute invested upfront and made the vaccine ready much before the Oxford trial was completed. What a humanitarian gesture. Bharat Biotech, they have dedicated one full plan for rolling out the inactivated vaccine should the trial give out positive result, and that is what has happened. Feasibility, one of the best program rollout that the government has planned. Look at the planning. A 100-page manual is out in public domain. There are bodies, there are committees, state level, district level, block level, and then it is so beautifully planned given the constraints and the huge population that we have. There is a plan to vaccinate 30 crore people. In the first phase, 1 crore healthcare workers, then 2 crore frontline workers, and those above the age of 50 or below 50 with comorbidities. What a fantastic planning. I mean, I have no doubt that my hats off to the government authority for planning such a fantastic rollout. And I once again acknowledge the help, which is the helping hand extended by IIP Navi Mumbai members to the Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation in carrying out this drive. Government has already issued guidelines for transportation of the vaccine. Vaccines have started, going to different vaccination centers. There are training camps. A mock drill was carried out, and then there are mechanisms in place to take care of the crisis arising out of adverse event following immunization. And then finally, you have the news that it is January 16 on which I would be getting my first corona vaccine. What about children? Yes, children do participate in infection and transmission. Trials are underway, especially with Oxford vaccine between the age 5 and 12. And I'm sure you must have read this announcement by Dr. Krishna Illa that it will take not more than 4 months to be out with a vaccine by conducting a trial between 2 and 12 years for pediatric population. And there are a lot many concerns. I will not spend time in reading out these concerns, but I'm sure at the end of my talk, we can take out some time from my friends, the time allotted to my friend, because he'll have hardly anything to say. And I can utilize that time to elaborate on these concerns. And government also has come out with beautiful FAQs, both for the healthcare providers and for general public. And finally, let me conclude saying that today is the opportunity where India can lead the world and try and play the card of eradication of SARS-CoV-2. The World Health Organization Executive Board Chief is our Health Minister, Dr. Harshvardhan. WHO Chief Scientist, our ex-ICMR Director, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan. India has vaccine companies which can make billions of doses. And with a human-to-human spread without a vector, it is possible to plan and think of eradicating SARS-CoV-2. And only hurdle is going to be vaccine hesitancy. And I really pray that sense prevails and my friend withdraws his, whatever he has to say and, toes the line of vaccinators. And I would only say that there is no point in, talking whether to be or not to be recipient. One must start saying that how early can I be the recipient of the vaccine? I really wonder if my friend has any opinion against this. And if the organizers allow and my friend accepts, can we utilize the time allotted to him to address the queries instead of wasting time on this futile debate? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vijay, for putting science perfectly. Now, still, there are 2 coins, sides of the coin. We do appreciate the apprehension of Dr. Upendra, not only Upendra, many, almost 30% of the medical population having apprehension. Should we take or not? I think we'll take his view also and then we'll decide what to do. Over to you, Upendra. Unmute, Upendra, unmute.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening, friends. At the outset, good evening and congratulations to Dr. Piyush Gupta and wish him all the best for his tenure as CIP president. And also congratulations to all the team members of Navi Mumbai IIP for winning so many awards at national, state level, and we are really proud of each one of you. And good evening to my dear judge, Dr. Rajendra Vaidya from Aurangabad, who's also a good friend. I'm not going to, he's not going to favor my side. And of course, my worthy opponent, Dr. Vijay Yevle. So I was thinking, what is the debate going to be all about? So after listening to Dr. Yevle, I thought of immediate past president of the United States of America. I thought the most anticipated, most watched, and most criticized debate of 2020 was this one, where one man was always smiling and the other one was pointing fingers and always agitated. So this is the way. Are we going to conduct this debate? Or is it like this? When the two tough, powerful, equally strong, worthy opponents try to fight tooth and nail to the end, at the end of it, they get hurt and they realize that it was all done for the fun of those who had organized. I'm sure the organizers didn't want to do that. And then finally, whenever a session on vaccination is heard, it is always those who are the proponents of the debate will be the definite winners. I do agree to that. But at the same time, after listening to me, I'm sure most of the delegates would go back home. In fact, they're at home, but may think that maybe Upendra had some points which all of us need to dwell upon. So if you do that, spare some time on that, I think it was worth the debate. Let me begin that I strongly oppose the pseudoscientific arguments, including the post on social media, WhatsApp, and online forums that spread messages that vaccine will permanently alter human DNA. It remains in the cytoplasm, never goes back into the nucleus. So forget about it. Conspiracy theories about vaccines, that it was all, man-made in China, and all these conspiracy theories, I do not vouch for them. The Western pharmaceutical companies, especially the Bill Melinda Gates Foundation, already had the vaccine ready, and then the virus was derived. No, not at all. Experiments on minority population. Oh, come on, give me a break. And then finally, fears about using the vaccine to insert microchips to control and track the populace. Oh no, I'm not representing any tabloid. So let's not talk about it. And finally, laugh out loud, 5G technology. So these are all, I am not at all believing them. But I strongly believe that vaccination is one of the major success stories of modern medicine, greatly reducing the incidence of so many infectious diseases and eradicating others, such as smallpox and almost polio. So this is the way I want to believe. Then what am I going to say? So vaccines are eagerly awaited and are seen as, if not the silver bullet to finish COVID-19, then at least a point arsenal that will provide a huge boost in the fight to overcome this pandemic. And I do agree with that. From today onwards, 6 days from today, history will be created definitely in India. And then Dr. Vijay said that almost 3 crore first phase healthcare and frontline workers would be vaccinated, 27 crores in the next 6 to 8 months, and those above 50 and less than 50 with comorbidities are going to be the initial people who are going to get this vaccine in our country. But friends, let me tell you, pause a while. Public health history is witness to misinformation, being the Achilles heel for inoculation drives. The not to be should be well convinced if you want to have success to this program. For the success of this mammoth task, let's not disregard and disrespect the concern, but answer them properly in a positive language. So, as Shruti said in the beginning, the online survey of 11,000 Indians, the figure was 53%. This was conducted as late as last month. 53% of Indians showed that they are not sure about. So are we going to neglect this and concentrate only on the rest of the 47%? Delhi, let me talk about Delhi. 69% felt because of the studies published, there is no urgent need of a vaccine. And what are the different reasons given for that? Speed of development of vaccines. So you have the vaccine print ready about a year ago, and within 2 months, the first human dose of mRNA vaccine was given. Within 2 months. Efficacy levels. Will it protect against the mutants? Limited information about side effects. Where the corners cut while developing the vaccine. Perceived high immunity level. So we already have it. 1 crore are the reported cases. Maybe we had 10 crores. Maybe most of them are infected. Do they really need a vaccine? Process of approval. We know what has happened over there. Prior history of setbacks in certain vaccine. And if I talk about that, you know about dengue vaccine. Those who received the vaccine and were not previously infected with the dengue virus, let me remind you that, may be at risk of developing severe dengue if they get dengue after being vaccinated. So those you wanted to protect, they got severe dengue after vaccine. Bronchiolitis, if you ask me from 0 to 2 years, the commonest respiratory infection which I have seen in last 30 years of my practice is nothing but bronchiolitis. No licensed vaccine available. Why? Partly due to the disastrous outcome of a clinical trial of formalin inactivated vaccine, which was given in 1960s to children, and enhanced respiratory disease upon natural infection. So you give a vaccine in those conditions and you get a natural infection, there are disastrous consequences. People are not supposed to be fearful about this fact? So let me see how the permission is given. So vaccine should undergo efficacy trial wherein it should be at least 50%, the benchmark with a lower bound of 95% of confidence interval. So add at least 2 months of safety data for the median population that was recruited for the study. If you have that, you are given permission. And then let's talk about each one of them, the vaccines, the one which are available here. What about this dosing error which occurred with Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine? So 3,000 participants were given half dose and then a full dose 4 weeks later. And this regimen appeared to give 90% protection. And in a larger group, which was supposed to be the trial of this vaccine, 9,000 volunteers, much larger cohort, who were given 2 full doses, standard doses, 4 weeks apart, the efficacy was 62%. So can you explain? In fact, what I mean is I am representing all those who are vaccine hesitants, the general public, the other non-pediatric fraternities who are not well versed with the immunology. We are not supposed to get answers to that. So let me quote the topmost immunologist from UK who said, you have taken 2 studies for which different doses were used and come up with a composite that doesn't represent either of the doses. I think many people are having trouble with that and we must give an explanation. So DCGI approval of Covaxin is a wonderful event which has happened last week in our country. Phase 1, 375 study, cohort population was enrolled. Phase 2, 380. Phase 3 began in November 16, and as Dr. Yevle very rightly said, more than 22,000. But have they completed the study? Only 10,000. And mind you, as late as last Monday, second dose was given. So this is permission is given on a clinical trial mode. What do you mean by clinical trial? Is the company going to do trial? Is the government conducting this trial? Or government is going to monitor the trial done by the company? What is happening? With abundant precaution. What is the exact meaning of abundant precaution? Every patient will be tracked. 2 doses, 4 weeks apart, huge population. Are we going to be able to track each one of them? And when the interim safety data will be out in next month, what is the hurry? So this is again, it goes on to say it's a backup vaccine. If look at the number of ifs given to it, cases continue to rise. If we don't have an antiviral till then, if efficacy data is out by then, if we have to inoculate a larger population, if Serum Institute India's vaccine is not sufficient, then we will be using Covaxin. Friends, when you want to inoculate the 3 crore population as first, you already have 50 million doses of Covishield with you. What is the hurry of giving this permission so early? Let the studies come out. This could be a very better than the earlier one. But what was the hurry when you already have 50 million doses ready? Honest and clear answers, please. We know that vaccine as well as preventive strategies, both should be there, because even if a safe and effective vaccine, friends, even if it is available, herd immunity will be significantly delayed by vaccine hesitancy at a cost to both lives, to the resumption of normal life, and at worst, it never be achieved. Now let us talk about vector vaccine concerns. The one drawback was the vector vaccine. There is a pre-existing immunity to the vector, can attenuate immunogenicity. You know what happened in CanSino vaccine? There was an inadequate immune response. This was supposed to be a single dose study. Then they didn't get proper response. So they gave second additional dose only to find out the first dose had already induced anti-vector immunity. That's why the results were not to the mark. So this is what is happening. So I know that it can be avoided by using viral vectors that are uncommon to humans, but let us give this answer to each one of us. Some want to wait. As all of us know, Dr. Yevle didn't go into the details of vaccine, but 2 other vaccines are also equally important. The Pfizer vaccine has 95% efficacy, whereas Moderna has 94%, and the one which I'm going to get has 70%. I understand that as far as severity of the disease or mortality is concerned, it doesn't make any difference. But we need to tell these figures to our people, and then we have to inform them that it will not matter as far as your protection is concerned. Pfizer has applied for emergency use authorization, but has not presented its case. 3 times a summons was sent, but Pfizer has not bothered to. Why? Because the price would be higher and Indian population will not be able to afford it? Or what is the reason for it? Or that they're sure that the cold chain maintenance will not be possible in this country. So this is the way its story stands. And Moderna has not even bothered to apply in India. Antibody-dependent enhancement. Do you know what it is? It is the way by which antibodies to an infecting pathogen can paradoxically increase the viral uptake by cells and exacerbate disease severity. This is a dangerous thing which can happen. The Th2 cell phenomena and the non-neutralizing antibodies, they come into play associated with eosinophils, which have nothing to do in normal pathophysiology, but they cause lung inflammation. So with high neutralizing antibody titers to spike proteins, the mRNA vaccines in Covishield probably will be okay. But this inactivated vaccine, which will have the components of so many other things apart from the S protein, how are we going to protect us? So this is another important point. Cold chain maintenance. We are not talking about Moderna and Pfizer, but we have to talk about it if we are going to give permission for them to come here. The potency of the vaccine, the cold chain is so much crucial. All pediatricians know, but rest of the people, do they know about it? Different manufacturing process. So though the vaccines probably are mRNA, one has a minus 70 degree storage required, whereas Moderna has minus 20. The Sputnik, which we are talking about, has minus 18 before it is administered. So storage and shipment, we need to take care of that before giving permission. Otherwise, I'm sure the permissions would be granted and then it can create a chaos. Adverse effects. Do we have multiple layers of safety assessment? Monitor every adverse effect and look for causality. Everyone will be waiting for 30 minutes. So we are looking forward for about 100 vaccines per day. But let us be very cautious about it. The AFI, investigator, regulator, data safety monitoring board, everybody has to pull their socks up for doing this. And of course, we cannot overlook the long-term safety data. Dr. Yevle very conveniently showed the paper which was presented by Dr. Jacob Zahn, his interview. But what has he said? The last paragraph is very interesting. I will go for one vaccine, that is Bharat Biotech's vaccine and not Covishield. The neurological effects found in 3 patients, if it is not related to vaccine, you will not expect neurological problems in all 3. Can you confidently exclude the link between vaccine and the neurological symptoms? Not only that, he goes on further and says it could have been a GI or any other problem, it was okay. But all issues relate to CNS. I will think twice before taking vaccine. So if a man of such repute creates doubts, is it not our responsibility to clear all these doubts or let them remain? And then how can you not talk about, I was sorry to say that Dr. Yevle didn't talk about the new mutants of UK and South Africa, which are so, going to cause another disastrous consequences. And they have already spread to more than 30 countries. 8th of January, we have again reopened our airports for UK flights. Will the vaccine be effective against mutants? If the mutations happen very fast and very, how can we have the same vaccine offering equal protection? Now look at this. A non-segmental RNA virus can evolve to escape a polyclonal immune response, rendering a vaccine ineffective. In fact, we are not bothered about the UK strain, but the South African strain, definitely. Fortunately, it is not yet come in India. And then there is a good news that Pfizer vaccine is good because it is number of amino acids. They have to change only 9 out of the 1,270. And they said that they can do it in 3 months. But friends, does that mean change to mRNA if it comes to us? So I take the first dose of Covishield and then second of Pfizer? Come on, give me answers to this also. So when a virus circulation is unchecked and immunization rates are low, probability of mutations increase. So let us remember this fact. So should everyone get it? That's my final question. Does actually 1.3 billion need this vaccine? Our mortality is one of the lowest in the world. People are saying, some of them have told me that we are sure that last 10 months we have taken care of SMS. Everyone knows about it. Let me go into details. And then we are going to ready to follow that for another 1 year. So can we not wait for 1 year to definitely be, ascertaining that the vaccine is really good? Has our poor hygienic conditions, our climate, our BCG, our MMR, our cross protection with infinite viral and bacterial infections protected us from COVID-19 as compared to the West? And not only as I say me, that means not only India, but Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, everywhere the problem is much less as compared to the West. Why? There has to be some reason to it. Only antibody test. We are not talking about cellular immunity offering protective immunity for more than 1 year. mRNA technology, wonderful. I'm also excited about it. But let us say that it is only for detection of cancer and prevention of cancer. It was targeted. And this is the first time it will be targeted as a vaccine. And vaccinate children so often. Yes, I'm worried about the spread, the bringing infection from school to the elderly at home. Yes, definitely the community spirit has to be halted. The schools need to be reopened. But again, let me quote a study which was published yesterday. 69% of the parents of Indian school children have said that till June, we are not going to send our kids to the school less than 8th standard. They said, we are going to follow this. We are loving this online school. And let us see in June what happens after these 6 months of vaccination. So what's the hurry about, pushing the vaccination to children? Implementation in the most developed nation. Look at this, USA, the disaster this virus is causing in USA. New York had promised to complete their vaccination. They have not able to finish even 1%. And look at the last line, that over 80 they wanted to do, and healthcare versus the rollout of inoculation program has been criticized, has been slow and chaotic. As Dr. Yevle said, I'm proud of our country that we do election wonderfully from 7 to 5 p.m. And I'm sure that we may be able to overcome this situation. But let's not ignore the problems with the West had. Finally, friends, a good vaccine is essential. Setting up priorities are more important. Removing the barriers are equally important. Monitoring AFI, waning immunity, need of boosters, all these questions need also to be taken into consideration. Because let me put you to the most important fact, it is vaccination, not vaccines, which is going to prevent infection and save lives. So let me conclude by saying that we are not in a race with other countries to produce vaccine, or for that matter to distribute vaccine. We are in a race with the virus. Friends, we should be united to combat it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Upendra, for wonderful thought-provoking point you made. I think we'll give 2 minutes to Vijay to give some clarification Upendra has raised.
Thank you so much, my lord. I must say that Upendra has a fantastic oratory skill, unmatched oratory skill, which I may not be able to match. But my dear friend appeared a little confused. To begin with, he started talking about why one should vaccinate, and then he lost the track, and then he raised some concerns, which I already said that there are concerns and there are FAQs which are already out by the government agency, by private organizations, and I am ready to address all those queries. Had he not spent time in, showing those photographs of Trump and Joe Biden, I would have taken this time to address all his concerns and queries. And then in between, he went haywire talking about difference between two vaccines, Covishield and Covaxin. Well, that is not the debate. The point is whether to vaccinate or not vaccinate. And then he tried to influence the audience by talking about antibody enhancement of the disease, which happened with dengue and RSV. First of all, my dear friend, he's feigning ignorance and probably just to appear in the debate, he is not revealing what he knows. And I'm sure he's also aware that one cannot equate your RSV with coronavirus or COVID. You can't equate dengue with COVID. We are in dengue pandemic with every minute a person is dying or getting morbidly sick. And let me tell you, there is enough evidence to say that there are strong neutralizing antibody against the spike protein. And in the presence of very high titer, good quality antibodies, there is no question of antibody enhancement disease. Of course, we have been fooled by science and new viruses. It's a survival of the fittest, and there have been instances where human beings have been fooled. But it's a science of probability, and that way, if you keep live under the fear, one may have to start wearing helmet and walk on the street just because somebody may be scared that a building may fall on him. Then he talked about the low dose and standard dose COVID vaccine trial. Perhaps he's not read, or he has not read. He has read it, but he doesn't want to, put forth that point. The Lancet has described in detail about the low dose, standard dose, what happened, and then he's also well aware that the non-replicating adenovirus, when taken first time, there is some immunization, but with subsequent doses, there could be immunoblunting, but that's the reason why chimpanzee adenovirus has been used by Covishield. And the Sputnik, they have used two different adenoviruses to overcome this. So there are, does my friend think that the scientists are not aware of these facts? People who have spent their lives in immunology, they have taken care of all these factors. And then he talked about emergency use authorization, Dr. Jacob John saying this and this fellow saying that, but then he forgets that I would strongly recommend that he should go and read that paper on ethics, which is written by Dhanya and Dr. Jacob John. And then he talked about Pfizer and Moderna. Here, again, the debate is not whether to use Pfizer or this thing. And my plea to one and all would be, don't wait for the best one. Take whichever is available, because each and every vaccine that is granted EU is capable of preventing severe disease 100%. Okay, and new mutant he talked about. Remember, each virus wants to survive, each living organism wants to survive on this earth. So the important antibody is antibody to the spike protein, and which is found against the receptor binding domain. In mutation, viruses see to it that the receptor binding site, which is so crucial to get attachment to the human cell, is not altered by mutation. Mutation has increased the transmissibility. Mutation has made possible the UK strain to spread amongst children, but that has not made the virus, more sustainable or survive against the anti-spike protein neutralizing antibodies. And then we have inactivated vaccine to overcome, which will, take care of all these factors. So I think that fear again is theoretical and absolutely unfounded. And then he said, shouldn't the concerns of public be addressed? Yes, I am very much with him. You raise 1,001 questions, and I am here to answer your questions. Public health authorities are there. They have come out with the FAQs. So with folded hand, I once again appeal to my friend that please spread the message of the importance of vaccine as the most important public health tool which can reach masses in short period of time, and only vaccine will help us attain the herd immunity and eradicate the disease. So please, and he said that we are in the race against the virus, and that is what I want him to understand, that we are in the race against the virus. And don't say that this happened there, so it will not happen. See, remember when HIV was introduced, HIV vaccine, Indians were saying, "Are hamare yahan ka bachche marte, under 5 children." And they tried to conduct a trial, and they failed miserably. But ultimately, HIV was introduced, and we have seen the effect. HIV disease has come down drastically. So, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. So, my dear colleagues and my friends, please listen to me. अरे बाल सफेद हो गए वैक्सीन देते एंड वैक्सीन पढ़ते एंड पढ़ाते प्लीज यूज करना वैक्सीन. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vijay. Upendra, you want something for 2 minutes?
The only thing that I want to just, now the debate is over, let us understand that when we are talking, these are the concerns which what I raised, because already each one of us know that it is important to vaccinate, and whatever vaccine is available in our country, we must give that. But then, as Jitu said, sir, please try to put the other sides, that so many concerns are raised by our colleagues, the non-pediatric fraternities, the orthopedics, the physicians, the GPs, the homeopaths, everybody, and the family and friends also. So people have so many questions. And as Shruti and myself have shown, that more than 50%, that's a huge figure. So the only thing that we need to tell them, kai nahi hot, should not be, kuch nahi hota hai, should not be said. Don't brush aside their concern. Try to address in the best possible way. That's a very important thing, because one negative person can spread it too. Negativity spreads very fast rather than positivity. And the WhatsApp University is sitting there till 6th February, at least, that is going to spread it still faster. So let us all encourage, and let us all put pictures of whenever we have taken this vaccine, and address these concerns of common citizens, so that we end up having our country getting completely prepared to fight this COVID pandemic. I think that's the way I would like to end this.
Upendra, your point is well taken, and I appreciate your stand. And I'm so happy that you have finally decided to join me in spreading this word about the COVID vaccine. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, both participants, Upendra and Vijay. You have put your points brilliantly. We do appreciate the concerns of the even medicos, particularly those who are non-pediatrician, those who don't deal with the vaccines. But definitely, with looking all these things, we are the forefront runners. We are suffering. We have lost so many of our colleagues, and we must go for that is my play as a judge. Even though there are some minor side effects, we should be vigilant to keep the watch. Medical persons are little more worried about the neurological side effect. They are not worried of the anaphylaxis, because they know that with anaphylaxis they are going to take over. Neurological, that we have to keep a watch. There are very occasional reports. They are not very frightening also, but you have to keep watch. Only the vaccine company has also said, Pfizer and those who are carrying EpiPen, like that, those who are really allergic, having anaphylactic reaction in their previous life, they should avoid, or they should take proper care. So with this, I think we must go to society. For that, we must take first ourselves to vaccine. As Upendra told, we should put on the social media what we are taking vaccine. So the people, our patients will be confident that our doctor is taking vaccine. He is not afraid. Then why we should afraid? Like that, we have to spread the message. And we, as a healthcare, we should keep a very strict watch on the side effects. Even health authority, government authority, as a private practitioner, we must also keep a record and immediately inform to the authorities. Even though it's a minor side effect, so we can have a excellent data, and then we can come around it. I think with that, my judgment will be we should promote and we should advocate vaccine. For that, we must take first, and then the appeal to the general public, our colleagues, doctors, everything, that you must get vaccine to get rid of this COVID pandemic. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my lord.
Rightly said, Vaidya sir. In fact, in the MR vaccination campaign also, when we have started posting our kids' vaccination, and then it was a huge success that we have. So this is a very great idea to post socially, so that the people will be more confident to take the vaccination. So thank you very much for this terrific clash of clans. Thoroughly enjoyed. But one thing is crystal clear. After this debate, I'm assured about COVID vaccination and eagerly waiting for the date. And I will also appeal to my friends, colleagues, and about this vaccination.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my God, that was such an exhausting brainstorming debate. So I think all our gray cells need some relaxation. So we move ahead with our next topic. Friends, there is this famous meme which you are seeing on the screen. Problems in your personal life, you can choose medical career. You will have no personal life and no problems. Also, it said that you can't be a person and a doctor at the same time. Maintaining the work-family life balance is a Herculean task for each one of us. But we should never forget that family is the life jacket which help us in the sea of life. The most important family value is the family time we spend with them.
So, friends, to talk about this, we are fortunate to have a speaker who is a versatile person with positive attitude towards life. He has given very useful tips to many doctors about work-life balance in his unique, humorous way. So, ladies and gentlemen, Please welcome Dr. Pramod Zog sir, the past president of CIP, to talk on the decade to dear ones.
Okay. So thank you for that. And we have so many good people around with the names beginning from G. The lion from Gir, Dr. Piyush, who has returned. Then the two gems, Vijay and Upendra. Then Gavane and three girls. Okay, so all these Gs are now around. And the last G is, of course, the Guru, Dr. Pramod Jog. So now we will have some nice time. Now forget about COVID, forget about the vaccine, forget about the serotypes, and let us decide to dedicate this decade to the dear ones. Okay. And some of my friends may not know the meaning of the word decade, but remember, decade means the 10 years. Of course, I'm not underestimating your intelligence, but from 2021 to 2030. Okay. So how you are going to look after your wives, your children, your parents, your relatives, and so on and so forth. Okay. So we will have some discussion about this. And the disclaimer is that none of the statements is from any peer-reviewed journals, and all these statements are only from PZ, that is Pramod Jog. Okay, so remember this point. And remember, when I pass out my MBBS, usually I am the D, the central D, that is Dr. Jog. Then I am surrounded by my wife and children. These are the dear ones. I grew up with my parents. They are also my dear ones. Then I get the degree of either MBBS, MD, DNB, whatever it is. So that is another D which surrounds me. Then I start earning and get some dollars. And then I get frustrated and I start taking a capsule of Daklamycin every day. Zindagi dhakel raha. So, frustration starts beginning. And the central D of Dr. Zog, loses all his childlike qualities. I have seen so many of my colleagues who lost their smile. They developed the bald head. Okay, that's the natural phenomenon. But their jovial attitude, their liking for tennis, their liking for elocution, so many things they lost. And that should not happen. And along with the family also, they had a very, very depressed face. They used to sit as if, they have gone to the graveyard and come back. Now all of you understand Marathi. म्हणजे कुणाला तरी पोचवून आल्यासारखे घरामध्ये बसलेले आहेत. ते आई बाप म्हणतात आणि सगळे अरे चला असा का चेहरा करून बसला. So nobody understands the reason, and the reason is all those D's, they compress the central D. Okay. So the first principle to remember is say that today is my happy birthday. Remember, today, if you say today is my happy birthday, then we all would like to be happy on that day. We would always like to call our relatives. We will like to read good books, and then automatically it will bring smile on the face. So every rising day, remember, is your happy birthday. And you have to use P108 mask. Remember, to improve your life quality. Now we are all used to the mask, but P is the P of positivity. Okay. And positivity basically means you have to be away from negativity. Do not allow the negativity to enter into your life. I will tell you, suppose if you go to a restaurant and you order for a vegetable sandwich, and the waiter brings a chicken sandwich. You don't want that chicken sandwich. So what you should do is stop the waiter at his place and tell him to take it back. Do not accept that chicken sandwich, which is a symbol of negativity. Remember that. So do not accept negative thoughts. Block it at your cognition level. Many times, somebody invites me for a talk. And the principle that my father told you is that if somebody says, येणार का lectureला, तर if there is a query in your mind, जाऊ का नको, जाऊ का नको, जाऊ का नको, तर जायचं. बोलू का नको, बोलू का नको, बोलू का नको, बोलायचं. आणि खाऊ का नको, तर नाही खायचं. Okay, remember. So this is the principle you should follow when you are in two minds. And if you are positive, only, you will be happy. Happiness is the only outcome of being positive. And your entire surroundings will be happy only if you are happy. So remember that you have to start to be happy. And that's why you must conquer the negativity. Don't tips deto tumhala. I will give you two tips. One, when you breathe in, breathe positive thoughts. Okay, today I will do this. Today I will read this good book. Today I will read this chapter. Okay, and whenever something negative comes into the mind, okay, then breathe out that negative. Sala patient bill budavla, ha asas bolla, sala az माझ्याकडे बघून हसला नाही. So all these negative thoughts you have to throw out. So when you breathe in the positive thoughts, and when you breathe out the negative thoughts. And Remember, many of us, particularly females, they go to the beauty parlor, but go to the beauty parlor of the soul every day. Okay, as just told you that someone did not smile when you were walking on the road. Okay, then you start getting hundreds of thoughts. चला आजकाल लय भारी झाला, आता माजला चला, आता पैसे जास्त मिळायला लागले म्हणून हसत पण नाही. Later on you come to know that he had some genuine problem. His father was seriously sick and he was admitted in the ICU. So then you come to know, oh, that was the reason why he did not smile at me. So remember that you have to go to the beauty parlor of your soul every day, clear all the negative thoughts. And that is why you have to take a 2-hourly break, which I called as a 2-hourly bath, also known as Karodpati break. It will make you Karodpati mentally. So close your eyes, put your mobile on the silent mode and start counting backwards from 100, 99, 98. This will make you concentrate on the numbers. This will increase the alpha activity in the brain and you will get Shanti. This is a Shanti technique. And remember, you have to keep all the negative thoughts away every 2 hours. This is extremely important. And that is the P of that 108 mask. And remember, every inch of your body you have to love, right from the hair on the head up to the nail of the great toe. Every inch you must love. And for that, it is the one of that P108 mask. And that is the morning round. Every day in the morning with your wife or your husband, you must go for a morning round. I am aware that in Navi Mumbai, we have people who are, very, very active in exercise and keeping their body fit. So every day you have to go. Of course, when I go to the ground or to the garden, I find that the husband and the wife, how to identify. I will tell you a small trick. If there are two people who are walking away from each other by 20 feet, they are usually husband and wife. I have seen they never walk together. Okay, I have not found any answer for this till now. If a man and a woman are walking together, I have inquired many times as to who are they, but they are only the friends. They are not the husband and the wife. Okay, more research can be done by the Navi Mumbai innovative brains. Anyway, so remember that 1 hour of exercise in the morning by walking together. This is the time when you can share your thoughts and you can always be with the present. Keep all the worries of the hospital away and always remember to be together. Okay, if you do not have wife or wife doesn't have time in the morning, walk with your friend. A friend is a person who is frank, who is rational, who is intelligent, who is enthusiastic, and he is a non-doctor. Remember that. Always walk with a non-doctor friend. Particularly, I have a chartered accountant, I have an advocate, I have, person who is from a milk industry. He tells me as to how to dilute the milk without people knowing that the quality of the milk has been affected. Do not walk with the doctors. So start choosing some people who are from the non-medical field. And friends, my dear friends, they are extremely important in life. Remember that. And okay, so my dear friends, you come back, and the most important rule number 1 to be followed in the house is about the wife. I will also tell you some rules related to the husband. So the first is the rule which has the word WIFE. So never say anything about any other woman in front of your wife. Okay, do not say that the obstetrician is very good looking. She does the Caesar very fast. Okay, she is very smart at her work. Never, never, never. Number 2. Never say anything about I, that is the in-laws. That means your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, your brother-in-law. They are the best people in the world. They can come anytime to your house and take out your Mercedes and go all over the city. You have to fill up the petrol. They can give all the international calls. You have to pay for that. They are the best people in the world. Okay. And F stands for the food prepared by the wife. This is the best food in the world. And every day you have to tell your wife that today I am enjoying the food and I hope it will be better tomorrow. This is an everyday dialogue. And E stands for the extracurricular activities, if any. So keep all these things related to your wife away so that your day and your relationship will not be spoiled at all. And also remember to carry the photograph of your partner, that means either your wife or your husband, to the OPD, so that you know that there is no bigger tension than this particular tension that you have. Okay, so remember that it is important that you carry, because okay, and now my sisters are asking at you what is the rule for the husband. And the rule for the husband is rule number 2, that is halt. Never speak anything to the husband when he is hungry, when he is angry, when he is late, and when it is tired. Okay, so let him come, follow the rule of 3 minutes, let him sit down, give him idli vada or poha, khichdi, something or the other, and let him have his blood sugar level little raised, and then tell him that your mother is going to come and stay here for the next 6 months. Okay, so remember, this is important. Okay, and always remember to come closer. I am not telling you to come closer physically in other sense that you might think of, but physically closer means you look into the eye of your adolescent boy, adolescent girl. Many of our children, they are anemic. We never detect that. Also, we never detect the illness in our partners. I have seen a pediatrician whose wife used to complain that she is feeling very tired every day, and ultimately she turned out to have diabetic ketoacidosis one fine morning. So please come closer physically and have a look at your partners very closely, and also come mentally closer. Okay, you have to be always with them, and we must understand what is love. So before that, let us try to find out whether we really know as to how we got married, when we really got married. I got married because at that time parents said, now it's your time to get married. Did I really know the meaning of this word love? Did my parents know what was the meaning of the love? What usually we look into each other is that, hey, ladka kaisa dikhta hai, how intelligent he is, overall family kaisi hai, and how are his manners, how he behaves. So these are gross things which we usually look at. But after the marriage, the scenario changes. The mother-infant bonding, starts taking away all the oxytocin, and the husband is moving around here and there. Okay, and then the mother starts getting involved in the infant rearing, then in the preschool, then in the school, then in the admission to the college, then into medical and engineering, then the marriage of the son or daughter, again the grandchildren, and the entire life is lost. And where is that LOVE, which was rather decided at the time of marriage? And that's why you must understand what is the real meaning of the word love. I will tell you, but before that I must tell you the story of a sadhu. This gentleman, he wanted to know what is the meaning of love. So he moves around, and he comes around a place where outside the city there were 7 sadhus who are sitting in a hut with a saffron colored clothing. And this fellow goes and asked, tell me what is the meaning of the word love. So they look at each other and ultimately tell him to put the 8th mat by their side and tell him to wear saffron colored clothes and sit by their side. They say, my dear friend, we spent all our lives finding out what is the meaning of the word love. We could never find. So come and sit and wear the saffron colored clothes. So my dear friends, it's very difficult. So the meaning that I have understood till now is, the first thing is listen to the partner. The word is fantastic. If you reshuffle the alphabets of the word LISTEN, a new word comes, and that is SILENT, that is silent. So you have to be silent at the back of mind. When you come home, do not think of what is going on in the share market, what is going on in the NICU, PICU, what is going on in my corporate hospital. No, keep all those worries away. Overlook minor mistakes of your partner. आज सब्जी में नमक ही कम डाला है, और ये दाल बहुत ही तीखी हो गई है. Minor mistakes, leave it. Okay, vibe with your partner. Your vibrations and the vibrations of your partner have to be the same. Encourage your partner, allow the space to him or her, okay, to do something on him or her own. And then mutual respect for individuality. This space and respect is extremely important, and particularly if our partner is from a non-medical field, many times it creates problems. So please respect the individuality, okay. And I will just play this one for you.
तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम, प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम, अब यहाँ से कहाँ जाएं हम, तेरी बाहों में मर जाएं हम। तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम, प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम, अब यहाँ से कहाँ जाए हम, तेरी बाहों में मर जाए हम। तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम।
So try to find out the meaning of the love for yourself, and that's why in the beginning, from the morning, start sharing the housework, okay. So prepare the bed. Once in a while, try preparing the tea for your partner, and so many things that you can do related to the studies of your children, taking them to the school, attending the parent-teacher association meetings, and sharing so many works that our partner is probably doing. And that's why you must know as to what do the lady wants. So a lady, this is my understanding. I told you there is no reference in any peer-reviewed journal. So remember that a lady always wants to be listened to. As I told you, that's an important part of love. She needs to be appreciated. Oh, you are looking gorgeous. You have a very beautiful sari and you have a very, very nice look today. Okay, they like that. Okay, as this is a closed meeting, I can always take little liberty. And then they always like dresses and dresses and dresses and dresses. And then always say you are looking very, very young. Okay, I remember once there was a fight going on in the railway for a window seat between two women, and nobody was ready to occupy the window seat. And the ticket checker was constantly telling them, whosoever is senior amongst you, please occupy the window seat. And nobody was ready to call herself senior. And that's why the window seat was vacant. So remember, my dear friends, that listen to what they are. Remember, they are not saying. It is very important. Many times women do not speak certain things. Okay, with age, I have started understanding the female psychology better than the male psychology. But then remember, you have to find out as to what is that they are not speaking, and that is extremely important. And this is for that.
तुझको लिखी रोज पाती, कैसे बताऊं किस किस तरह से पल पल मुझे तू सताती, तेरे ही सपने लेकर के सोया, तेरी ही यादों में जागा, तेरे ख्यालों में उलझा रहा हूँ जैसे कि माला में धागा। हाँ, बादल बिजली चंदन पानी जैसा अपना प्यार लेना होगा जन्म हमें कई कई बार। हाँ, इतना मधुर इतना मधुर तेरा मेरा प्यार लेना होगा जन्म हमें कई कई बार।
Okay, so remembering Devanand from Prem Pujari, remember, never stop trying to be attractive. Okay, always try attractive for your partners, because with age, the parameters of affection and love, they start changing, and that's why you have to dress very, very properly. And that's why you please think as to when did you last give your partner a present. Okay, not on the birthday, not on the Valentine's Day, not on the marriage anniversary, but without any reason, because that will tell your gesture that you love them. And that's why our male pediatricians must know as to what do females like. Again, not from any peer reviewed journal. So remember, they have certain things which start from F. They have a flower gene, so get them a gazra, and also they love chocolates. But remember, even males like flowers and chocolates. So remember, females also should offer them. Also, they have a fabric gene, so bring them some sari when you go for shopping. Now for pedicon, when you go to Mumbai, get something from the famous sari shop, or from Jaipur, or from Indore. All these places, wherever I went for conferences, I have always brought some piece of cloth, a beautiful one for my wife, because I know that she has a fabric gene, and then a fashion gene. So if you get some extra money, go to Tanishq and get some nice tops. They will always appreciate those diamond tops. Don't act like a chingus. Don't keep the money all in the cupboard, okay? Because once either Modi will come in 2016, or during 2020, you don't have anything to spend. So spend for your wives, okay? Of course, the males like only one thing starting from F. Of course, I will not explain that. And remember, what do women like about men? Because our colleagues want to know. So remember, they like spotless character. They like witty nature. They like odorless body, okay? So if you have rhinitis, please get it treated, and then have good clothes, bright white clothes, and have polished shoes. Again, Psychology of Females, read by Dr. Zog. Anyway, I think I should write a book on that now. Okay, Rajendra, do you agree with me? Yes, okay. And then remember, when you come back from your clinic, you should always remember that the home is the address of happiness. Okay. So please try to make your home very, very happy. And as soon as you enter, always remember to smile. It is said that you are never fully dressed until you wear a smile. Average child smiles 500 times a day, and an average adult smiles 15 times a day. And God only knows where these 485 smiles disappear. As I said, they disappear under suppression from all those D's. And that's why the children and your partners, they must see a smiling face of Dr. Job. And don't hesitate to say the small big word. What is that small big word? If you are late, if you have forgotten something, the word is sorry. Okay, sorry will take care of so many things. And another thing you must say is that I have enough. I have enough time, I have enough energy, and I have enough money for you. Okay, so have a rest and just forget about all the other duties. And remember that the beauty is in the house. Beauty is not in conferences. Beauty is not in the places where we go outside the conferences, but it is in the house. There was a manager who joined a company recently, and then he was always in contact with the receptionist, who was a beautiful one. And then he starts getting a feeling that she is probably in love with him. One fine evening, she invites him for dinner. He goes with a lot of enthusiasm, feeling that something might come up. And then after about 10, she serves him the some wine. Then at around 11, she changes her clothes and comes. Around 11:30, she starts serving the food. He is very excited, and slowly and gradually he starts removing his coat, and then gets the dress for the night. And suddenly at 12, all the lights are on, when all his office staff is in front of him saying happy birthday to you. So my dear friends, he had forgotten his own happy birthday, and he was celebrating at some other place, and he was seen by everyone in the nice birthday suit. Okay, so remember, my dear friends, that it is important that to remember that the beauty is in the house. And that is why you have to travel a new road every day. So read different books, attend different webinars, smile at people. I told you, celebrate every day as if you're happy birthday every day. And also dress separately. I told you that you have to remain attractive for everyone, and that's why also have nice different positions for your nighttime activities with the same partner, of course, not more than that today. But then, so you have to follow some new road every day so that variety will be maintained, which is the spice of the life. And those of you who are above 60, you basically are a good companion, because at that age it is important that being together is also love.
तुमको देखा तो ये ख्याल आया, तुमको देखा तो ये ख्याल आया, जिंदगी धूप तुम घना साया, तुमको देखा तो ये ख्याल आया.
Okay, so my dear friends, if you are a grandparent, please remember that the grandchildren are the biggest source of energy, and please tell them stories. I told one of my friends that you must tell stories, and he brought a book from Appavadan Chowk, a famous place for getting books, and he brought a book of Aesop Niti, and there were some 480 stories. He recorded them in the mobile, and every day he used to start the mobile when the grandson would start listening to him. And one fine at night, around after 3 or 4 days, the grandson said, Grandpa, I don't want to listen to all those stories. Why? He said, the mobile does not have a lap. Okay, that tepla mandi kutai, tepla mandi nai. Okay, so the granddaughter wants that the grandfather, even for that matter parents, they take the child on the lap, they put their hands in the hair, and they smile, they look at him, and with their own mouth, it explain the story. Remember, the stories are to be told on the lap, and they are the greatest source of 16. And the mother would always comb her hair every day before she used to go to school in the non-COVID times. One fine morning, the mother said that now you are going into the 10th standard, so let me cut all your hair, make a bob cut, and then go to the school. She said, no, mother, I will not do that, because this is the only time that you are touching my hair and my body. Okay, so touch is extremely important, and no one unfortunately touches the grammar of touch in the life. So touch is extremely important. Touch does not have any other meaning, but it's only an important expression of love. And that A stands for Anubhav. I remember when I was a small little child, my father used to take me to all the places, the vegetable market. He used to tell me how to talk to the people in the market. Okay, he used to show me as to how to speak to the clients. You can always take your children who are growing up, maybe adolescents, and show them as to how people behave, how they speak, how you answer. That is Anubhav, and you must give it, and that is developing relationship during this decade. Let's do that. Don't get isolated from them. They are in the school, you are in the office, but whenever you get an opportunity on Saturday or Sunday, stands for Guru. See, children do not want a teacher, they want a Guru. So please tell them the philosophy of life whenever you are with them. And my dear friends, relationships require nurturance. We get married at some time, 15, 20, 30 years pass. The relationships are not nurtured, and ultimately it becomes only a balance sheet. Credit, debit, credit, debit. You did this, I did this. No. Every day, every week, that has to be nurtured. Offer a chocolate, offer a sari, offer a top from Tanishq. Why? That is because it has to be nurtured. Otherwise, we are living what is called as an agricultural love. I agree with you, you agree with me, we are living. So this decade, let us resolve, okay? And that's why you must remember that the pulse of is partners' unconditioned love, support, and encouragement. That is PULSE, unconditioned, extremely important. Otherwise, you put a condition and then you start blaming. That is also not right. And the pulse also means parents' unconditioned love, support, and encouragement. I will tell you the story of Thomas Alva Edison. Edison in the school was a student, and once he brings a letter from the teacher, and the teacher gives a letter and says you give it to your mother. So the mother reads the letter with tears in the eye and says, my dear Thomas, the teacher says that this school is not suitable for you because you are very brilliant, and that's why they want you to be taught by me in the home. So they feel that the school is of a very low level for you. Okay, so Thomas Alva Edison is taught in the house. He grows up at the age of 30 when his mother is no more. He is cleaning the house. Now he is a very great scientist, and then he finds a letter at the corner while he is cleaning the house. In the letter, which was the one which was given by his headmaster, it is written that your son is a dull, duffered, a very, very dull boy. He cannot be kept in the house, in the school, and that's why we are removing him from the house. Okay. And remember, my dear friends, this mother had read it differently for him, and then he became Thomas Alva Edison. So it has to be unconditioned. If mother would have said, oh, you are a big fool, now you can't go to any school, stay at home and do anything like farming and all, things would have been different. So remember, it has to be unconditioned, irrespective of the looks of your partner or children, irrespective of the color, irrespective of the educational status, and irrespective of the thyroid level of your partner. Okay, so remember, and in life also remember, we have to have very good relationship with FIAP. That is not the FIAP given by our organization, but it is family and the friends. In-laws, that means your father-in-law and mother-in-law, they are a part of the package. So at the year end or in Diwali, if you are going somewhere, please also take them along with you. And the people in the apartments around, the pediatric colleagues and the patients. Whenever I finish my talk in non-COVID times, I get a shawl and a shriffle and I offer it to the parents to give it to their preterm babies or to the poor people, or give them the coconut so that they can enjoy at least, during one meal time. So you have to develop a relationship. So let's do that. We are all academically good. We understand what's going on around. And remember that the small things make whole difference. So you have to have sugar on the tongue and sandalwood on the head. Keep the head very, very calm and celebrate the birthdays of your staff nurses in the hospital. Cut the cake. Do not bring the remaining cake back to your house. See that the cake is given them back. Okay. The other day I found one of my Pune pediatricians giving 3 kg of green peas, matar, I was wondering as to he never gave anything to the people. How is it? He was a Punekar, and the cost of the matars, the green peas, was the lowest on that day, and he got 5 kg for 100 rupees. So that was the time when a Punekar offered something. But I was glad that he at least offered on that particular day. So give them something, and remember that they also have their families. And also love your resident doctors in the hospitals. Call them for a dinner at home. Our teachers used to call us once in a while and inquire about their well-being and the studies. And my dear friends, this Sunday account is very important. Close some accounts on Sunday. These are not the bank accounts. They are the accounts where there are some, doubts remaining in your mind about somebody, and just clear them. If you have found that somebody has misunderstood you, or if you have misunderstood someone, call him or her and tell that this was not what you wanted to say. And deposit some money, some happiness in the account. What is that depositing? Call your brothers, call your sisters, call your parents, friends, good old teachers for lunch or dinner, or go to them. This is nurturing the relationship. Okay, at least call them on phone, and let us start practicing for this new year. Okay. And lastly, my dear friends, I am the dearest one to me. I am myself going to nurture myself. So you please think, whether am I comfortable with myself, whether I have healthy relationship with self, whether I'm becoming too egoistic. And remember that you are not a Superman. And remember this equation, I, capital I, is a combination of so many I, small little things. You are a doctor, you are a father, you are this, you are good at this, you are good at this language, you are good at oratory, you are good at studies, you are good at practice. But all these characters ultimately make a big I. Okay. So these small little I's should not overpower you. Once Sachin Tendulkar was asked as to what he feels about the people who are, clapping for your century. He says, they don't love me, they love my game. Okay. So remember that people don't love you, they love your qualities. Okay. And that's why let us nurture those qualities. And my dear friends, please don't forget certain thing. I will end my talk with a small little story. And this is the story of an orator. Like me, he used to give lectures at different fora. And then he was a person from China. And the organizers, they offer him, a big fat hen, komda, okay, and chicken. And then, he's bringing this particular big fat hen with him while coming back on the roads. He's very happy that he will go back to the home. The wife will cook nice chicken. Then he will have some chicken biryani. I will cut this hen and all. So the big fat hen speaks and says, hey, look here. So he's surprised as to how this big fat hen can speak. So the fat hen says, see, you have to leave me. Sod mala. You just मुझे छोड़ दो. He says, I will not leave you. Now I am going to cut you and have nice chicken. No, you can't do that. I will tell you 3 things which will change your life. Okay. So he thinks twice, and then somehow or the other, after some thinking, he releases the big fat hen. The big fat hen goes on a nearby tree and sits there, and then tells him, my dear, look, number 1, if anyone tells you something rubbish, okay, please don't believe it. Okay, he says, what is the second? He says, so in case if you have some problem and if you really come in trouble, okay, don't think about it. Okay, that's okay. And then what is the last one? He says, if somebody deceives you, do not repent about it. So the person gets very angry. He says, what is this? You have told me very, very faltu things, and just, I just released you, and now I will, catch you. And this bird starts flying. He's a hen, so he can fly a little bit. So from the lower part of the tree, he goes on the upper part. Then on the upper part, this fellow, is very angry. Then this bird is sitting at the top of the tree and tells him, "Arey fool, I have a big diamond inside my stomach. Okay, if you would have cut me, you would have got chicken plus a diamond." Now this fellow further becomes angry and starts climbing on the tree, but he can't, and then he falls down and then gets fractures of all his bones, and the bird is laughing from the top. My dear friend, I just told you 3 things. Number 1, if someone tells you rubbish, don't believe it. Can anyone have a diamond in the stomach of a big fat hen? No, you forgot that. Number 2, I told you that don't do anything if it is not in your capacity. It was not in your capacity to catch me, but then you tried. And lastly, if someone deceives you, now do not repent. I have deceived you. Now you lie down and get treated. So my dear friends, whatever I told you, you may forget, but please, please do not forget to dedicate this decade to your dear ones. And let's end the program.
जरा विसाया वळणावर भले बुरे ते खडून गेले विसरून जाऊ सारे क्षणभर जरा विसाया वळणावर या वळणावर.
So thank you, my dear friends. I will stop sharing my screen, but of course start, behaving properly from tomorrow, but don't show it suddenly. Otherwise, your partners will be very angry with me that they have bigdo-fied my partner after this talk. But anyway, wish you all the best for this new decade, and I take leave of yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was such a wonderful, enlightening talk. The talk was out of the word and out of the box at the same time. And you had so many awesome tips, awesome ideas and stories, which I think brought smile to everyone's face. So we are very, very happy to have you, sir, with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, friends, we move ahead in our conference. Friends, we are very happy that our Navi Mumbai IIP is launching its own TED Talk for the first time. And I guarantee you, these ideas are definitely worth spreading. A good sense of humor is an escape valve for the pressure of life. Charlie Chaplin once said, to truly laugh, you must take your pain and play with it.
And to tickle your funny bones, with this humorous and enlightening talk, we have the vivacious, witty rock star, the author of the book YOLO, and the dynamic lady of Navi Mumbai IIP. Please welcome Dr. Shilpa Aruskar. Welcome, ma'am.
हाय कल्याणी हाय हाय मैम आपका चेहरा नहीं दिख रहा है, बस एब्डोमेन कैविटी दिख रहा है. क्या प्रॉब्लम है? क्यों? मैं टायर्ड लग रही हूँ. एम आई लुकिंग टायर्ड? टीवाई नो नॉट टायर्ड. आपके तो सिक्स पैक दिख रहे हैं लेकिन फेस नहीं दिख रहा है. वो क्या है, लाफ्टर कर करके ना मेरे सिक्स पैक्स बन गए हैं अभी शायद. अच्छा अभी दिख रही हो क्या मैं? Yes. Now it's not teda. Now it has become. Now you are visible. Okay. Your face is visible. Let me just rearrange my anatomy of my body. Okay. Now my HFL is seen. I hope no other supex infex is seen. No. Your face is seen clearly. Achha. And you are not teda. So why actually क्या हुआ ना guys? As you know, TED Talk. Hamisha, it is always done standing, you know, the person who gives a TED talk is standing and there is a platform and all. So that's why I was standing to give the TED talk. And then when you said, I realized it, ki, since we are on a virtual platform, I'll have to sit and give the TED talk. तो थोड़ा सा टेढ़ा है ये, लेकिन टेढ़ा है तो क्या हुआ? एनएमए पे तो अपना ही प्लेटफॉर्म है ना, और मैं भी तो टेढ़ी हूँ तो क्या हुई, आपकी अपनी ही हूँ. Definitely, ma'am, you are our own and you are the funny and witty asset of our Navi Mumbai IIP family. Welcome you. Thank you so much. So friends, this whole concept of TED Talk आया कैसे, you know? So I have a drum list. हाँ बाबा, drum list, not bucket list, क्योंकि वो bucket में इतना सारा डालती गई हूँ कि वो bucket अभी drum हो गया है. So I always had this one thing in my drum list, that life में बॉस कभी अपना भी चांस आना चाहिए TED Talk के लिए. And I have not yet given up, please, because I know at some point of time I'm going to go and give the world TED Talk. But then our Jitu Raj and our president, Dr. Jitendra, is always so kind and considerate. So when he came to know about my drum list, he said, Madam, वो टेट छोड़ो, अपना एनएमए पे कोई वर्ल्ड टेट से कम है क्या? क्यों कल्याणी, कम है क्या अपना प्लेटफॉर्म? No ma'am, definitely not. Yeah. So we decided, and Jitendra was really kind enough, and he said, "Ma'am, आप एक TED Talk कर ही दो." तो then उसके बाद the most difficult part was कि बोलूं तो क्या बोलूं, और मैं बोलती बहुत ही ज्यादा हूँ. So on what topic to say? And then when I asked few of my friends, they say, तुम हंसती ज्यादा हो और बोलती भी ज्यादा हो, तो दोनों में से अगर एक चीज ज्यादा करते हो तो वो हंसती ज्यादा हो. तो then why not, you know, have a topic where we have humor also and we have your TEDA talk also. So friends, I'm going to talk today on a topic which says humor heals. Yes. So on a serious note, I'm not here today to do some stand-up comedy or to narrate one of my funny blogs to you all, but I'm going to take you through anecdotes of my personal experiences of my life in practice and at home, that how seeing everything in a lighter vein and adding a little bit of humor in our day-to-day life has benefits in lot of ways on our mental health, physical health, and also strengthening our relationships with everyone. And I have done my research because I'm sure that we have a lot of scientific people in our branch who write books and publish a lot of research papers. So they are not going to believe me if I'm going to give only my own personal experiences. So I'm going to also give a lot of proof and scientific evidence. In fact, there's a lot of research done on this topic, that how humor helps in better healing of a patient. So on a serious note, let's see how it helps. So we all agree that, you know, once we enter into medicine and we start our own practice or whatever, per se medical field and doctor's life is very, very stressful. Agree or not? Besides, we do so much of multitasking also. So, you know, day-to-day things like you go to the OPD and you have a huge queue of patients, then you go to an ICU for rounds, and your babies are not doing well, and you have to break bad news to the patients. Then you have to manage your team at work. You have subordinates, you have colleagues, and you want to maintain good relations with them, but sometimes you are in an irritable mood.
and you might just snub your junior about something, and even with the nurses and all. And of course, end of the day, when we come home, what happens is our home people are victim of all our irritation and anger, and we all vent it out at home. So these are the common day-to-day situations where if we change our perspective, then how things can also change. So I'm going to take you initially through a few examples of my life, that how I realized it, that adding little bit of humor helped not only me, but it helped my patients also. So let us start with my morning NICU rounds. So when I go to NICU for rounds, any NICU, a typical NICU will have 1 or 2 preterm babies, 1 meconium baby. There are babies on ventilator. There are babies who are sick. And there is a lot of tension and there is a lot of stress in the NICU and the PICU environment. And the sisters also, they do long hours of duty and all. So obviously there is a lot of stress. Then the registrars, the residents have been working overnight. So we used to follow this thing in our NICU. So we used to have nicknames for our babies, preterm babies, meconium babies. So we used to have nicknames like Shah Rukh Khan, Ranbir Kapoor, Sunny Leone. There are always those pretty 3 kg, 3.5 kg, pretty newborn girls. So we used to name them Sunny Leone. And there used to be those Chintu 1 babies. And we used to name somebody like Abhishek Jr. So the moment we scrub and we enter in the NICU, we'll start our rounds with, Acha, so what is Shah Rukh's status today? Then the staff will say, Shah Rukh has got perineal rash. And Sunny has been not letting Ranbir sleep whole night. And that is why Ranbir is having tachycardia and and heart rate is exiting 180 throughout whole night. So immediately when we start rounds like this, the environment in the whole NICU would lighten up so well. And the nurses would break into laughter, and we would really have a lot of lighter moments. And second, when you come out of the NICU, we always have this protocol of breaking the news to the parents. Now, parents who have preterm babies in an ICU, sometimes they stay there for a long time, 2 months, 3 months. And imagine every day, morning, evening, they eagerly await for the consultant rounds to know that how is the baby doing on ventilator. They are not even sure whether the baby will live 1 more day or not. So much anxiety they are going through it. So if I come out and I tell the parent, okay, आपका बेबी अच्छा नहीं है, आज भी वेंटिलेटर पे है, आगे क्या होगा मैं बता नहीं सकती हूँ, you can just pray. Now, if I say like this, imagine how the parents will feel. Instead of that, if I come out and I mention the same thing in a little more sympathetic tone, that yes, the baby is still on ventilator, but अपने जो tiny Ramdev Baba है, वो आज थोड़ा सा कम योगा कर रहे हैं और कम gasping कर रहे हैं. So maybe by evening the baby will get better. So these kind of statements, I think it does make the patient feel lighter and it diffuses the tension in that particular moment. So in my experience, it has really helped. And besides it also helps in the doctor-patient bonding, when we take things in a little lighter way. And of course, we all come across this penguin dads. अच्छा आपको नहीं मालूम penguin dads क्या होते हैं? Penguin dads are the new generation dads who think that they are the mother and the father both. And they take 6 months paternity leave and they want to do everything for the baby. Change nappies and feed the baby. And sometimes even I had some of the penguin dads who has told me, Doctor, मला खूप वाईट वाटते की I do everything except one thing. I said, what? You're already doing so much. Doctor, God has not given me breast, so I cannot breastfeed my baby. He said that. So these penguin dads, I think, so I tell them, oh, so you are I also to the baby and you are bi also to the baby. I mean, I also and I also. So how lucky your wife is. And then one of the penguin dad asked me the other day, very irritating question. He told me, my wife is not lactating enough, doctor. So I have an idea. Can I mix 20 ml of EBM, express breast milk, and 20 ml of Nan1 and shake it like a coffee shaker and give it to the baby? Now imagine you have finished your NICU rounds, you want to rush to another hospital and start your OPD. And if these penguin dads and patients come up with irritating question, won't you lose your temper? I think anybody of us would lose. But losing temper in such situation, what will be the outcome? It will make me more irritable. It will raise my blood pressure and my pulse rate. And at the same time, I might shout or yell at the parent. So instead of getting irritated or angry on the patient, I said, okay, do you like Chinese food? He's saying, doctor, आपको कैसे मालूम मुझे Chinese food पसंद है? I said, हाँ, हमारा sixth sense रहता है. So I said, how about today that you go and eat Malwani Manchurian instead of original Chinese Manchurian? So then he got the message, oh, yes, doctor, you're right. I cannot mix breast milk and NAN formula. And he burst into a laughter and we all had a hearty laugh. Then there are these typical night 2 a.m. phone calls, the ER patients who are always there with some or the other locha they do at night and they want to rush to the casualty. So how do we handle that? By the time you sleep at 12:30 and then 2 a.m. your phone is ringing with either it could be colic or excessive crying or foreign bodies. So the other day, one of my patients called me and said, hello, doctor. It was night 2:30 a.m. I said, हाँ, क्या हुआ? So he's saying, मैं खुद एक डॉक्टर बोल रहा हूँ. I said, okay, fine, go ahead. And he's saying, doctor, we were just going down the memory lane and हमने बहुत सारे पुराने albums और photos निकाले and we were going through all the photos, old photos and recreating our memories. Now, night 2 o'clock, I don't want to listen to you this whole story of what you have done during the day. So I'm saying, come to the point. So okay, doctor. तो वो कैमरा के जो रील रहते थे ना हम पहले के जमाने में यूज करते हाँ उसका क्या हुआ तो उसके छोटे छोटे टुकड़े करके हमने रखे थे to throw it into dustbin but my child swallowed it. Oh God, how can a child swallow a camera reel? And who uses camera reel nowadays? Anyway, and wo bhi raat mein 2 baje. I could have got irritated. Patient was really very anxious. He was a doctor, so he was all the more VIP syndrome. So then, just to lighten up the moment, I said, okay, relax. Let us do one thing. You can bring him to the ER. Meanwhile, we'll just wait and watch what develops. Doctor, what do you mean what develop? अरे कैमरा रील फॉलो किया है तो डेवलप तो होगा ना तो उसके लिए 2-3 दिन रुको. It will develop. So then immediately he burst into a laughter. And of course he went to the ER and the child was managed. But if I had yelled at him or shouted at him at night 2 o'clock or misbehaved with him, maybe it wouldn't have helped both of us. So and at the same time, these kind of comments or these kind of perspective, it helps to release release the tension of the relatives also because they have so much anxiety when it comes to such situations. Let's talk about our labor room and delivery calls. Nowadays, there are those hi-fi parents, fathers who want to be there inside the labor room all the time when the wife is delivering. So last week, one of our patients said, doctor, I want a part of the cord of my patient umbilical cord. I said, who wants to keep the umbilical cord? No, doctor. I just want to keep it as a memory. I want to wrap it and keep it in the locker. So then I said, see, you have come to a very hi-fi corporate hospital, a high-tech hospital where we deliver cordless babies. So very sorry, I cannot give you the umbilical cord. And jokingly, I also conveyed what I wanted to convey. And then you have juniors and subordinates, be it medical colleges or be it at work. We cannot manage our patients without the help of our residents and our associates and our nurses. Especially when they are newly posted, the first posters, it's a tough time for the consultant also and for the juniors also. And when they come to private hospital, they have a lot of anxiety, So when there are these 30 kilo, 40 kg so-called tiny babies, they come saying कि my small baby is dehydrated, sir. इसको थोड़ा सा पानी चढ़ा दीजिए ना. And when you go in the room and see the small baby weighs obese child, 3-year-old, around 40-45 kg. So poor resident, he was trying whole night to put IV line angiocath in for this patient. And while 10 relatives are hovering on him all the time, and he was a newbie, it was just his 3rd day or 4th day in the hospital, and he had just started his residency. So he was unable to get the IV line and the relatives were creating lots of ruckus. Now he was very scared to inform me, inform his senior or inform the boss that he couldn't secure an IV line. So finally he called me up in the morning and he was really trembling his voice, and said, ma'am, I'm so sorry, no fluids were started for this child because we couldn't secure the IV line. So instead of getting irritated or upset or shouting at him, I told him it's all right. You know, when you're new as a resident, especially your first poster, 8 out of 10 IV goes in vein only. So he says, but it didn't go in vein. I said, Arey, it goes in vein means VAIN, vein. So it's okay. It happens with everybody. Zyadatar vein mein jate hai. And then he burst into laughter, and after half an hour, he said he could manage getting the IV line. So, how it helps, to create a very relaxing environment and improves the outcome at work also. और अब रोज बरोज की ओपीडी के बारे में तो क्या बताऊं. All of us, I think whatever incidences I'm narrating, all of us will relate to it, and we all come across these kind of patients in IPD and in ICU. But OPD, when you have 10, 20 patients, of course, COVID में अभी scene थोड़ा सा change हो गया है, but then we have to cater to all type of patients. So last week, one patient came to me with a 3-year-old son, and she entered into my room. And that was one day when luckily I had few more patients. Otherwise, nowadays in COVID, you don't see a lot of patients. So, and I was running late also. So, this was that one day. So as soon as she entered the room, she narrated the child's history, and we did a routine checkup and all. And then typically they'll ask you all the questions, all the recipes, all दुनिया भर की कहानी, history, information, and then last में जाने के पहले they'll say, अरे doctor, इसका तो vaccine था. So very typical. So I said, okay, fine. Which vaccine is it? She told me influenza vaccine. So I called my staff, and then I tell her to load the vaccine. And we are loading the vaccine, and then all set to give vaccine to the child. And we told her, okay, make the child lie down on the bed. Now, जैसे ही बच्चे को बेड पे सुलाया, she came and she said, थांबा, थांबा, doctor, थांबा. I said, अरे अब क्या हुआ? नहीं डॉक्टर थांबा, माझं दूसरा बाळ येतोय. I said, अच्छा तो आधी सांगायचं ना दूसरा बाळ येतोय तो. But then nowadays in footfall, I thought, okay, एक बच्चे पे दूसरा बच्चा अगर मिल रहा है, तो एक पे एक वैक्सीन मिल रहा है, तो फिर why should I let it go the chance? Anyway, it is better in this footfall. So like a greedy person, I said, no harm in waiting. So we are waiting with the syringe in the hand, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 to 8 minutes, and the bar is not coming. So I told her, now this is enough. I was losing my patience. And then she said, doctor, please. She's calling on phone and saying, bar kuthe is? Then she said, doctor, khali hai ye to. I said, chalo ruk lete ho aur 1 minute. And then the anticlimax. As soon as my door opened, this 35-year-old male, pot-bellied, enters into my room, and immediately this lady grins from ear to ear and says, "माझा बाळ आला, आलास तू? Doctor, आता तुम्ही vaccine द्या." I was flabbergasted. Baal? So apparently she was calling the husband Baal? Oh God, I didn't know how to react, whether to get angry or to shout at her, or to tell her you're so stupid and silly. But then I asked her, you're calling your husband Baal? That's so weird. So the husband, smiling lovingly, he said, come on, doctor. If in USA and in UK, the English people, if they call their wives and husbands baby, if you translate the baby in Marathi, it becomes Baal. So lovingly, my wife calls me Baal. And we all burst into laughing spree. And in fact, I got so inspired by that bar thing that I called up my husband from the intercom in the next room, who is an ophthalmologist. And I said, bar, laukar ghari जाऊ नकोस, I'm sending you one bar to see into his eyes. And he didn't get it. And he thought his wife is having really some midlife crisis or she's gone bonkers. And then there was this another NRI patient, typical, they talk in hi-fi English accent, which is difficult for me. So I have to really, lend my ear to understand what they are talking. They talk in so much accent. Then they bring their own sanitizers, own brand of sanitizers. They bring their own brand of Bisleri water and all. So I said, okay, what's wrong with the child? Doctor, my child has got loose motion since 3 days. Okay, so I quickly take the child's history and answer to all their queries. एंड मेरा ये प्रॉब्लम है, अगर सामने वाला पेशेंट एक्सेंट में बात करता है ना, तो पता नहीं मेरे अंदर का एक्सेंट भी निकल जाता है. दिस इज माय प्रॉब्लम. Okay, not worry. The child looks fine. We just need to give some ORS, okay? And then after everything was done, the child was examined and medications are prescribed. He's getting up and he's about to go, and then he says, "Doctor," I said, "Now what?" "Doctor, but my child has been crying so much since last 3 days. All the time tears are coming off his eyes. So I'm very worried about dehydration." I said, "Tears are coming to dehydration? What is the connection?" "No, doctor, in tears they lose water and sodium because tears are salty. I've tasted his tears also. So my child is getting dehydrated. So what should I do for that tears water loss?" I was so furious at his stupid remark. But I said, "Okay, let's do one thing. That ORS which I have prescribed, every time your child cries and you think there is water loss, you put some drops of ORS into his eyes. How about that?" First, he didn't get the joke. Later on, he realized that his question was so silly and stupid. So, yes, patients sometimes do get on our nerve. Sometimes there is a lot of tension and a lot of anxiety at workplace. But I think if we add a little bit of smile and change our perspective, then maybe it helps. But of course, these are my anecdotes, and जैसे मैं अपने चुटकुले नहीं बता रही हूँ आप लोगों को. But there is a lot of evidence and a lot of research done that how humor helps in healing. And not only at work, but also at home. It also helps, benefits to us also, doctors. So, end of the day, when I come home, my husband always says that my kids, they realize whenever I have a bad NICU patient, I'm always little indifferent at home. So they put up a notice outside our bedroom: "Enter with caution into mom's room." And my husband will say, "She exhausts all her laughter dose in the hospital with her patients. So if you want her to laugh at home, we have to pay her consulting fees, 900 rupees for that." So immediately it diffuses the tension. And which husband and wife don't argue? All of us argue all the time. And always the usual story that every husband and wife are poles apart. So my husband is very meticulous and I am horribly messy. I'll leave wet towels, the kitchen will be messy. And then the usual argument is, "Why you can't see the way I see?" So instead of yelling and arguing, and there is no final conclusion to any arguments between spouses. So since he's an ophthalmologist, I tell him, "I'm seeing, but I'm seeing through the numbered glasses which you have prescribed the number. Maybe you need to do my refractive error again, or you need to prescribe me other number of glasses." And we both start laughing, and there's no further argument. The other day, one patient told me, "Doctor, आपकी तो शादी को बहुत experience होगा." So these kind of personal remarks I usually don't entertain. But then I didn't comment. She's saying, "Doctor, I'm sick and tired of my husband. Can you guide me what to do?" Usually I say no comments. But उस दिन बोला चलो ठीक है, patience ज़्यादा नहीं है, so I entertained her. So I told her, "Do one thing. You type a resignation letter and give it to your husband." She said, "Resignation letter?" I said, "Yeah, you type a resignation letter for your husband and say, 'Dear husband, I want to resign from the job of wife.'" But she told me, "Doctor, what should I give the reason, the cause that I want to cause for resignation?" I said, "You give the cause as illness and exhaustion." She said, "Illness and exhaustion?" I said, "Yeah, you just said sick and tired of husband. So illness and exhaustion from the husband." And she realized that it's a normal story with all of us. So in year 1800, a famous scientist and Dr. Voltaire said that practicing the art of medicine is more of amusing the patient while nature cures the disease. And how true it is. 70% of the disease are all cured on its own. Most of the time, how we heal the patient is the way we talk to them, the way we reassure them, and the way we make them feel at ease. So I'm going to give you a few evidences that how it helps. So in the year 1980, there was this famous celebrity writer called Norman Cousins. So Norman Cousins was suffering from a very, very painful inflammatory condition, collagen disease of the spine and joints. And he was in too much pain. He had a lot of money and they tried all possible treatments and all the doctors and all. But he was on 8 to 10 painkillers and NSAIDs and steroids, but nothing was helping him. So one fine day after 6 months, when the doctor said that there is no hope and he might not survive or live for more than 1 year, he checked out of the hospital, and he just across the hospital, he checked out into a hotel room and he did his experiment on his own self. So he checked into the hotel room and he decided to spend his whole day reading humorous books, watching funny videos, and whatever, doing everything which had some element of humor in that. And after 5-6 days, he realized that if he was watching a humorous video for, say, half an hour, the next 2 hours, his pain used to be much, much less. So he started jotting down in a diary, and he continued to do this at end of 6 months. You won't believe he was completely cured, and all his investigations were normal. He was clinically all right, and he lived 25 years after that without any suffering or without any pain. And this is a very, very famous experiment by Norman Cousins. And in fact, he has also written this whole thing in his book called Anatomy of Illness. And if you all get time, you must read this book called Anatomy of Illness. And so basically, if the diseases can be caused by psychosomatic, why cannot it be healed also in a psychosomatic way? Does it sound rational or irrational? Of course, it sounds so rational. And then who can forget the famous American movie Patch Adams, Robbie Williams, where he's a resident trainee and he decides that, he dresses up like a clown and he goes and takes rounds in the hospital and all, and he realizes that it did help better in the outcome of the disease. So a lot of time we focus only on the disease, but we need to remember while treating the patient that we need to treat the person, not just the disease. If we sit in our clinic with constipated looks, and who is going to like it? Nobody is going to like it, because you just can't sit with a constipated look and just keep on prescribing laxatives, right? So in USA and in Canada, a lot of evidences have been done, and they have seen that people who inculcate daily dose of laughter or humor in their life, it could be anything. It could be reading humorous books, watching humorous movies, or just cracking jokes with your friends or with your patients or in the hospital. Following biochemical changes were seen in the body. So there was increased heart rate and increased respiratory rate, followed by relaxation of muscles. So 10 to 15 minutes of laughter is equivalent to 30 minutes of aerobic exercises. Ooh, wow. So all those lazy people who don't want to do workouts tomorrow morning, I think just get your good dose of humor. And laughter increases the stroke volume. And there is release of nitric oxide, which dilates the blood vessel. What happens with that is it acts like an anti-inflammatory. So there is reduced chances of getting plaques in your coronaries. So laughter is inversely proportional to your chances of getting a coronary heart disease or even type 2 diabetes mellitus. Again, people who laugh have documented high levels of IgA and IgE antibodies, which boost up the immune system. And some people have done these biochemical markers and brain scans on people, and they have realized that there is increased levels of serotonin, there is increased level of dopamine in these kind of people. So it acts like a reward system, which is equivalent to having, 1 glass of alcohol or something. So it does boost up the immune system. It is good for your heart. It is good for your brain. And it's a very good anti-inflammatory. So it is inculcated in lots of oncology ICUs and oncology patients and cancer patients. In fact, abroad, they have something called as CCUs, which means clown care units. So they have officially clown care units where, they have this team who dress up like a clown and who come into the onco ward and even adult patients. And they have realized that per day, if they spend 30 minutes to 1 1 hour with these kind of patients. Cancer patients, their pain was much, much less. And even patients with rheumatoid arthritis and inflammatory disorders, it acts as very good anti-inflammatory. And brain scans of people have revealed that laughter is highly contagious. So if 4 people are sitting in the room and one person starts laughing, obviously, तीनों में से दो तो will start laughing. The third person who might not laugh probably doesn't have a tickle bone in his body. Yeah, there are some people who just don't get the jokes or who just don't want to laugh. So you just can't do anything about them. But on a serious note, the MRI scans done on people have revealed that the laughter is contagious. And in one room, if one person is laughing, the scans of the other 3 people also started showing some signals in the brain. So yes, there is a lot of scientific evidence that humor goes a long way in healing. In fact, the Bible also mentions that a good heart is like a good cheer is like a medicine to the heart, and a low spirit dries up the bones. So next question you might want to know is, you might ask me, so what is a dose? How much to prescribe to our patients? Well, you have to give a customized dose. There is no fixed dose combination for humor. And as Dr. Jog already mentioned in his talk, that children on an average laugh 400 to 500 times a day. If that would continue, an average 30-year-old man will be in ecstasy, because children are in so much joy, joyful innocence. But as we grow old, we start behaving like adults. We analyze every situation. We complain about things. We wallow into self-pity. We always see negative in every situation, and we burden our own selves and get burnout in the long run. And we laugh as less as 10 to 15 times a day. And out of the 10 to 15 times also which adults laugh, research says that majority of the adults laugh maximum only with their friends. So isn't it surprising that we don't laugh enough at home, or we don't laugh enough at workplace? So you have to rationalize the dose and you have to customize your dose. But you have to also handle humor with care. When I say that, yes, it's very important that we don't use derogatory humor or sarcastic humor on our patients. However irritated we might be, but this kind of humor shows disrespect to our patients, and we should avoid. The best is to laugh at your own self, and because that is the easiest thing to do. And so that doesn't mean that tomorrow you go to your OPD and you start, अच्छा ताप आला त्याला किती कधीपासून आहे. So don't just start giggling silly in your OPDs, or don't go and tell your hospital administration to start laughter club and laughter yoga in your hospital, but just naturally inculcate it. Start seeing things in a lighter vein, and fortify your life and your patient's life with tiny, tiny doses of vitamin ha ha ha. And since YOLO has come, everybody introduces me as YOLO, author of YOLO. So I would say that don't take life too seriously. Yaar, nobody comes out alive out of it. सबको मरना ही है ना एंड में, तो फिर जी लो अपनी जिंदगी थोड़ा सा हंस के, खुल के, मिल के. If you only live once, you as well as live it amusing and funny and silly, isn't it? Yes or no? Kalyani, Shruti? And
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. And after this talk also, if you feel that it will be difficult for you all to inculcate humor with your patients, you can refer your patients to me, and मैं cut भेज दूंगी 25% या 30% in the form of again laughter. So you can do that. And last but not the least, if you got bored with this Teda talk of mine and you still didn't tickle your funny bone, I'm going to show a small clip, and I guarantee that you're going to roll off your bed watching it. So Kalyani, since I'm digitally very challenged, can you play the clip?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
चल गया अभी मजा आएगा ना भिड़ो.
कम से कम 10,000 हैं और हम 21.
घुंघरू की तरह
बजता ही रहा हूँ मैं घुंघरू की तरह बजता ही रहा हूँ मैं।
हम भी हैं जोश में बातें कर होश में यूं ना आंखें दिखा आज की पार्टी मेरी तरफ से सबको बोलो मेरे पलक से आज की पार्टी मेरी तरफ से
வணக்கம்.
Who doesn't dream of this? I still dream of Mini Cooper nowadays. हो गया है. Last 1 year has become like. So here I just end the talk, and since it is TED Talk and TEDA Talk, just ponder about it, and it's the idea of spreading that laughter is the best medicine, and let us prescribe to our patients, our family, and our own selves in our lives. Cheers and bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. This was truly hilarious. Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonder dose of humor, which will last with us till your TED Talk. I hope everyone enjoyed this flirting online. And now I hand over the screen to my beloved, hardworking, helping, trustworthy friend, Dr. Mangai Sinha, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Shruti. Wonderful job done as MOC. Good evening, everyone. I'm here today to officially render the vote of thanks on behalf of Navi Mumbai IIP for our annual conference, F.L.I.R.T, Focused Learning, Ideation, and Rational Thinking. I'm sure each one of you has enjoyed this Hatke conference with some interesting topics. It gives me immense pleasure to thank our National President 2021, Dr. Piyush Gupta, for accepting our invitation and inaugurating our conference today. Sir had to change his travel plans to be with us here today. Thank you so much, sir, for sparing time for us today. I would also like to thank our branch seniors and stalwarts, Dr. Vijay Yevli and Dr. Upendra Kinjavadkar, for such a brilliant and well-researched, nerve-wracking debate, an eye-opener for all of us. Thank you, sir, for clearing our doubts and our apprehensions regarding the COVID vaccinations. I would also like to thank Dr. Rajendra Vaidya for being the judge for today's debate. Thank you, sir, for your valuable inputs and non-biased judgment for today's debate. It has always been a pleasure to hear Dr. Pramod Jog, never a dull moment in his talk. Thank you, sir, for this wonderful talk on guidelines for living life for this next decade. Thank you for being with us here today. Now, before I move on to thank Dr. Shilpa Aroskar, I would like to wish Madam belated happy birthday and wishing her that her literary skills and humor scale new levels every year so that we in Navi Mumbai can be healed with her humor and we continue to keep laughing and we also develop six packs like ma'am has. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your TEDA talk. I would also thank our branch founder member and senior pediatrician, a guiding star to all of us, Dr. Prashant Moralwar, for being with us today and always. Thank you for being the guiding star for Navi Mumbai IIP. Thank you, sir. Now coming to today's MOCs, Dr. Kalyani Patra and Dr. Shruti Kalkekar. Wonderful work done as MOCs. Thank you to the dynamic duo for beautifully and flawlessly conducting today's conference. Excellent coordination, both of you. Great job done. This is the second year of our annual conference, Flirt. This year, we flirted online. Our branch has always led, uh, our branch has always been leading in many aspects, including starting the YouTube channel and giving great academic webinars all through the lockdown. This time, again, our branch leads in having a conference where learning is conducted in a fun and flirty manner. And I must thank our dynamic president, Dr. Jitendra Gavane, and our ever young, talented past president, Dr. Shilpa Aroskar, for beginning this trend of academic flirting. Thank you, Dr. Jitendra Gavane, sir, and Dr. Shilpa. Now comes the important moment to thank the other pillars of the Navi Mumbai team. Dr. Satish Gavane, our secretary, Dr. Vikram Patra, Dr. Amit Saxena, and the entire enthusiastic, supportive EB team. Each one of you is an irreplaceable pillar of Navi Mumbai IAP with unique qualities and talent. Thank you, dear team. It's always been a pleasure to work with all of you. Thank you for all your support. I would also like to thank Dr. Ashish Chopra from Signatura for their academic grant. Thank you for helping us in conducting this conference. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the delegates present online and all Navi Mumbai pediatricians from the bottom of my heart and with folded hands for their constant support and encouragement for all Navi Mumbai activities. Thank you and wishing you all a happy Sankrant. Wishing that this Sankrant brings new hopes and new beginnings as each one of us as pediatrician leads the way by taking the COVID vaccine and leads a life filled with humor as per Dr. Jog and Dr. Shilpa ma'am's guidelines. Thank you everyone and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mangai, so much. Such a beautiful, flawless vote of thanks. And you thanked everyone in the EB except your own self. So thank you for being part of our EB and the way you write. It really makes me so proud, the branch reports. So I think we are a fabulous team under leadership of Jitu, and it feels so good and so happy, to be part of this great team. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jog sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So आज जोक सर I love you वगैरह सब बोलना पड़ेगा.
That is important.
सर मैं मेरे हस्बैंड को सुनाने वाली हूँ आपका टॉक. बहुत सारी चीजें गिफ्ट्स एंड ऑल सर बहुत भूल गए हैं वो तो.
पहल तुम कर लो ना मंगई.
हाँ एग्जैक्टली. सर वाइफ ने क्या क्या करना है थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा टॉक रखते हैं सर उसको.
Okay. Your next annual conference.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Bye to all the best.
Thank you, sir.
And congratulations, Shilpa, for a very good talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And all the MOCs and the entire program, I think, has been very well organized. And it was a very good, decent program. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
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 Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, sir.
Bye, sir. Bye, everyone. Thank you, team.
Bye.
Bye.
We are the NMP.
We heal with zeal.
Together we navigate
New frontiers.
We are the NMP.
We heal with zeal.
Together we navigate
New frontiers.
We are the NMP.
We heal with zeal.
Together we navigate
New frontiers.